Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah.
Hey, everybody, how you doing? Hey, we're back. I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, there's a name I got to find. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. How's everybody doing? I've been off all week. I'm now back on the show every day, except for Monday. I'll be off Monday. But after that, I'm back. After that, I'm back on the show every day for the rest of the football season.
How was the vacation?
We had a great time. My son and I, as you guys know, went to New York. And, well, there was a lot. I got some observations that I got to share. First of all, I took my son to his first Billy Joel concert. I know nobody else, I don't think anybody else here is a big Billy Joel fan, but it was a great show. It really was. The last time I'd seen him was 2016, and I felt like he was starting to fade because he's old. You know, he's probably like 70 or somewhere around 70. But he went out there and he kicked ass. He did an encore where he, when he was younger, he used to move around the stage a lot. But he did an encore where he actually got off the piano, had the guitar, and was rocking. It was so great. They did a little Led Zeppelin. They did a tribute to Tony Bennett. He has a woman in his band who sings, and she sang. At one point, he was in the middle of the song "River of Dreams," which is actually one of my least favorite songs by him. But right before the end, she jumped in and started singing. I think it was an Aretha Franklin song. I'm not sure. I actually didn't recognize the song. But she had this amazing voice. It was really great. And then this other guy in his band who's his guitarist did a little like Pavarotti. He was singing opera. So it was kind of cool. I'm not really into opera, but
did the girl look like Vanity?
I don't know who Vanity is.
That's Prince. Prince in the Revolution. There's a girl named Vanity.
I don't remember her.
Did you see The Last Dragon? Bruce Leroy?
Yeah, right.
You remember the girl?
I can't remember.
That was Vanity.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, the concert was great. And it was funny. I ran into this guy named Ben Fountain who was sitting in front of me, who's an author. He's actually coming to Cleveland randomly. He's from Texas, but he's coming to Cleveland. He wrote a book that became a movie. It was called like The Long Walk Home or something. Anyway, I don't know. It was just kind of random there. But a couple of observations about New York and New Jersey. And I don't know if it's just because I've been living here for 12 years. People there, and people used to always say to me when I first moved here that people from New York and New Jersey drive like lunatics. And I always was like, no, that's not true. You know? Now I think it's probably because I've been living here 12 years. People drive like lunatics. And I was driving there, and I felt like I had to kind of drive like a lunatic to keep up with, because everybody else, if everybody's driving like a lunatic, I can't be like,
cutting you off. Get out of here.
My sister, my brother-in-law, they drive like madmen. They're insane. Everybody's tailgating. It's freaking crazy.
The tailgating stuff is crazy.
Oh my God! And it's so annoying because I got out of the concert was over at like 11 something. We left Madison Square Garden. I had to go to the garage where I parked my car. And then I was staying in New Jersey, so I had to go through the Lincoln Tunnel. There's 3 ways to get from Manhattan to New Jersey. There's 3 ways really. To go directly. You go the George Washington Bridge, which is the northernmost crossover, the Lincoln Tunnel, which is medium, and then the Holland Tunnel, which is South New York into kind of central Jersey. Well, still north, but a little more central. Anyway, so we're going, the one that made the most sense for me was the Lincoln Tunnel, but there was bumper-to-bumper traffic getting in the Lincoln Tunnel at midnight on a Monday.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's what, and I'm like, thank God I don't have to live that life anymore. And then I went to my old neighborhood in Brooklyn. It was overcrowded. It was gross. I was like, this sucks. When I was a kid, I could never have imagined leaving Brooklyn. That was my whole life. I was like, why would I ever leave Brooklyn? And now I can't imagine living there.
That's crazy.
Now, that being said, there's a lot of great things about New York. It's fun to visit. There's an energy in New York that you can't match anywhere else. Like, as I said, on a Monday night, I'm walking with my son and my oldest friend, walking around Manhattan at like 7 o'clock on a Monday, and it's packed. There's tons of people. There's a lot of energy. There's also so much diversity in New York, which is nice to be around. Because sometimes here I feel like all I see is other white people all the time.
Yeah.
And that's boring.
Wherever you, depending on where you live.
Well, yeah, true. Where I live, it's,
Hey, don't get it twisted. Like, if you drive 5 seconds in any direction, you're in the middle of nowhere where there's a farm and a bunch of white people.
Exactly.
Like,
That's a fact.
That's just like 5 minutes.
And even here, like, I feel like I never see Latino people here.
Oh, no.
You go
I
to the
feel like I
west?
never
On
do.
the west side?
Never or rarely.
there's
And like
a-
in
there's
New
a
York,
group-
I don't know,
there's
West
just so
Side-
much diversity
Maybe
in
the
New
west
York.
side has changed since
And
I was
everybody
a kid.
is in the mix together. And then there's all kinds of races and religions. There's people dressed up, all kinds of wacky outfits, and it's just nobody's even staring at these people. Like it's just it's like whatever, do whatever the hell you want.
Did you? So you like that part of it?
I like that.
Okay.
That I like, but I would never want to live in New York again. Which I can't believe I'm saying.
I can't believe you saying
But
that either.
I would never want to live. And, the only way I would even consider wanting to live there again is if I were like a billionaire, because then you could just, buy some penthouse.
So if you had if it was a job that wanted to pay you $350,000 a year, you wouldn't consider it?
No, it'd take more than that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Because it's that.
Because I guess
Cost
New
of
York-
living is much more expensive.
I thought somebody told me it was like $4,000 for rent.
Oh, that's some San Francisco stuff right
I
there.
mean, in Manhattan, yeah, probably. If you live, I lived in a right before I moved here. So this is 12 years ago. I lived in a suburb of New Jersey called Bayonne, which is it's like the Parma of New Jersey, right? It's whatever. I'm not insulting it. It's just like that kind of town. And I was living in an attic apartment, tiny little attic apartment that had no living room. It had a bedroom, a kitchen, and then like a little space to put a TV and a chair. And I was paying $1,200 a month in rent for that.
I had a 500 square feet apartment in Santa Clara, California. It literally was not even. It's probably the size of this.
Right.
$4,500.
Yeah. Oh my God, California. Yeah. No, my price was actually not bad comparatively, and that was only because my friend owned the house. A friend of mine owned the house, but whatever. But yeah, Manhattan, it's crazy. California, it's crazy. But so I'm glad to be living here where the cost of living is cheaper and I don't ever sit in traffic.
Yeah.
Ever.
Don't go to Columbus because it's like that in Columbus.
Oh, man, what is that? Don't they got, what is it, 260? What's that little loop?
270.
270. That loop is terrible.
All the time.
At 5 o'clock.
Well,
Anytime.
that's true. Yeah,
no,
at 5 o'clock.
not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this.
Trust me, it's nothing like New York.
You're right about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You're right about that. But
Now,
then Columbus
the
is
east-
terrible.
I do find the east side is a little more traffic-y than the west side, but still, it's nothing. There's
I
really
take
no
the highway.
traffic here.
Yeah.
It's not, the worst thing about New York and probably Boston and L.A. is it's unpredictable traffic. Where in Cleveland, when there is traffic, and I say that with air quotes because we don't really have traffic, it's predictable. You know at 9 and 5, it's going to take you a little longer to get downtown or whatever, but it's not that big a deal. You can plan for it. Not like there's never going to be traffic on a Monday at midnight anywhere in this area.
Yeah. It's
You
not,
know,
no.
That's not
No,
happening.
I don't think that.
That's not a
Unless it's something.
So-
Unless you're around like Blossom, that'll be about it.
Yeah, well, of course, you're pulling out of a concert or you're pulling out of a packed Browns game. Yeah, that could be. Outside of that,
They got concerts on Monday night.
I don't know. Billy Joel was Monday night.
Fall Out Boy was a Tuesday.
Man.
I don't know. Who's Fall Out Boy, by the way?
They're in early 2000s, like emo band. I'm actually wearing their tour shirt right now.
Okay. All right. How many people were at that concert?
I think it's sold out, so 19, 20,000, something like
That's
that. I think
that's
is what
pretty
Blossom
impressive.
can hold.
Billy Joel was sold out at the Garden. We had floor seats. My son had an amazing time with his first concert experience. And so, anyway, it was a great trip. Although,
Good deal.
my all-time favorite pizzeria, the owner had died. So we went there. I took him for the first time. It was a huge disappointment. DeFara's, you've lost your edge.
Dang.
Very disappointed.
So the
Fell off?
It fell off. The slices tasted like crackers. It was the biggest disappointment ever in a pizza place. I was really disappointed in DeFara's.
Really?
This place has been nationally renowned for its great pizza. The owner had been there for 50 years. He died. The family took over. I figured it wouldn't decline, but it did. Maybe it was just the one bad experience. Plus, I was sitting in there. It was like 120 degrees in there.
It's because you're so used to Cleveland's pizza that it's messed with you.
No, I don't think so.
He was like, no, it's just trash.
No,
that
it
was just trash.
wasn't good. It just wasn't good. Go ahead,
Try to help
Anthony.
him out.
I did.
Try to help him.
All right, guys. So before we get into our first topic today, I just want to remind everybody that for $4.99 a month, you can become a UCSS member. We just had a new McNuggets emoji release. We're doing overtime questions every single Friday, only for members. And we also have discounts to the Cleveland clothing store. So if for $4.99 a month, you can become a member, get all those great benefits, and check out OT today for your viewer questions to get answered. And then as we go into our first topic today, we're talking about
Before we hit the first topic, we got to talk really quick about Mikey McNuggets. Mikey McNuggets was supposed to fly. So his sister lives in Germany. So his brother and he are flying to Germany. Now, his brother got in no problem.
His brother's already there.
His brother's already in Germany. He was supposed to fly out last night. His flight got canceled. And then Anthony tells me, well, he's flying into Turkey. I'm like,
I'm not
what?
I ain't flying into Turkey.
Turkey's not,
That's
a
not
little
like-
bit of a questionable country.
Little bit.
Yeah.
They're on the watch list.
Yeah. And so I call Mike. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I just got into Chicago. I was like, okay, now you're further away from Germany.
Yes.
And I'm like, you got to fly into Turkey? I'm like, there's no other way to get to Germany from Chicago besides Turkey? I mean, I find that. He's like, well, there's no way I can get there by Saturday morning unless I go through Turkey. I'm like,
Hey, listen.
so I'm worried about him.
I don't look, bro. I was in a deep dive the other day. The problem with a lot of Americans is Americans be feeling like everything will be fine.
Yeah, right.
That's the number. Everything will be. Nothing's gonna happen, bro. It is not safe to go to like. There's at least 30 some odd countries that you can't get into without explicitly writing. I should know. I do immigration service business. You can't get in. You're just not gonna get no passport. No, you're not going.
There's some crazy things going on in the country of Niger. Mm-hmm. Did you hear what happened there? Most people don't even know what's going on.
I don't watch the news.
The country in Africa. I bet you most of our audience doesn't even know that was a country.
It's Nigeria and then there's Niger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two.
Yeah, no, I know that.
And Niger, not Nigeria, there was the military overthrew the government and killed I don't know if it was a president. I don't know what they call the leader there. Mm-hmm. They overthrew it. They killed him. Then the people started to say, no, this is unacceptable. We're gonna try to stop you, but that got shut down. So now and I believe they have the most amount of uranium in the world in that country.
And you know
You
what?
said
Don't let that story
vibranium.
scare you.
You said they got vibranium?
Not vibranium.
Wakanda
Wakanda
forever.
forever.
And you know what's crazy? I thought that would never happen in the United States. Then January, never mind.
Oh man!
Hey, don't let that story though scare you.
Why
There
would
are
you
parts of
do
Africa
that?
that are
Why
absolutely
would you
beautiful.
do
I
that?
spent some time there. It
I'm
was
not
awesome.
saying
Yeah,
all of
no,
Africa
like,
is
for our
dangerous,
viewers,
but
if you ever
there
get a
are
chance,
parts.
go to Victoria Falls.
There are
It's
parts
definitely
of
worth it.
They stormed the Capitol.
there are parts of all countries that are
Stormed the
they're all
Capitol.
continents that are
Some people is dumb as hell.
Where did you go in Africa, by the way? I forgot.
I spent 2 weeks in Lusaka, Zambia, and then I spent a weekend in Livingston, Zambia.
Oh
right,
my
cool.
goodness!
All right, Anthony, let's get to some football here.
All right, guys. So we're going to be talking about how do you think the Browns should approach the preseason, especially with injuries and who we
Yeah.
want to see being played.
Well, guys, couple things.
Go ahead.
Joe Burrow yesterday, I'm sure a lot of Bengal fans.
You passed out. I heard your legs went
Yeah.
limp.
I was a little freaked out. Because if Joe Burrow gets hurt, their season's over.
Finished.
That's it. End of season.
It's done.
No, they was going to trade for Trey Lance.
Stop.
The Bengals go from one of the Super Bowl favorites to out of the mix. That's simple.
In one day.
That's
In one
cra-
day, if
that's-
that happens.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. You know who their backup quarterback is?
I have no idea.
Trevor Simeon.
Oh yeah, they're done.
Yeah, exactly.
They're done.
And that's the case with almost any contending team. Because
No, we got Josh Dobbs.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. They're going to the Super Bowl with Josh Dobbs. So now it looks like Burrow has avoided the worst of it. It looks like a strained calf. If it's a grade 1, he'll definitely be back for week 1, supposedly. If it's a grade 2, he's questionable for week 1. If it's a grade 3, then it's a little more serious, but it appears it's not that. We'll see what happens to him. He's been snake bit every training camp. Something happens to him for whatever reason. But, and we saw also, what's his name? The DB on the Dolphins got hurt.
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. He may be out for most of the season.
They said he ain't coming back to December.
Yeah.
Season.
So if they say he's coming back in December, you're right.
That's that Deshaun Watson thing.
Right.
You got 6 games left. You ain't playing.
Yeah, what are you going to do? So listen, we always have this debate every year about rest versus rust. We saw real rust last year with Deshaun Watson. I think we all underrated how much rust he was going to have because it was clear he had a lot. Mm-hmm. Now, he's not missing a whole seat or 3/4 of a season this year, but he's a guy who could use some reps more than most veteran quarterbacks because he hasn't played a lot the last 2 years. And yet you're always and yet, like we say with Burrow, the reality is if Deshaun Watson gets hurt, then any hopes of winning a Super Bowl go out the window. So what do you do? How do you balance it?
I think if the Players Association is listening, there's one thing that you guys can do, right? If you want to give back some of the revenue, that's cool. If you want to negotiate a different split, but you guys got to do everything in your power to say, look, we're not playing no preseason games. Ask yourself this question. Do colleges play preseason games?
They do not.
Okay. Now, that works out pretty well for them, right?
No,
Why not?
because it's boring.
Okay. Well, at least you keep your players healthy and you can win the national championship.
Well, the big difference is that you got 85 kids on scholarship. You got 90 men on rosters that's trying to make it, so that your only way of seeing how they will do in the game is to let them play.
Well, you're gonna have to extrapolate. You're gonna have to be like, okay.
It's some people that don't do well in practice but do well in the game. For example, me as a rookie in Seattle, my coach was like, I don't think you're gonna make it. Well, I went out in that game and had a game. He said, "Oh, you just a gamer."
Couldn't you just have guys battling for roster spots playing those games?
Yes.
Or is there some? As a former player, do you think there are important things for veterans to get used to in the preseason? Is there a point to playing?
Yes, it's a point to playing because we've seen that teams come out. Obviously, every year, ever since the preseason has went down to 3 games or whatever the case may be, we've seen offenses start off very slow in the NFL. I mean, it takes like 3 weeks for the offenses to get clicking, and I think that. It's because they're not playing as much in the preseason because you're trying to make it fair for those guys who are battling for the job. You want them to have the majority of the reps so you can see what it's like, so you can know who you pick to keep on your 53-man roster. If you get rid of the preseason game, you can forget about all of that, first of all. But I do believe that the veterans need to play more, but not that much. Like I said, it's a good recipe when you play
it's
a
hard
quarter
to find that
to a
balance.
half. Yeah,
It's a misnomer, bull. It is. Listen. When there was COVID, they didn't do nothing.
That's true.
They sat in rooms and you were quarantined, and they still got it done. The reason they run preseason games is because of money. It is what it is.
Because if you buy season tickets, you got to buy the preseason
games.
Is that true?
And
I've never bought a ticket in my life.
There's different cable companies that own the rights to show these preseason games.
That's true.
So they're not. That's the reason they do it. Now, for me. They should come out and play week 1. Who cares if the product is bad? Like, people crack me up with that. Well, you'll be watching defenses for 2 weeks then, 3 weeks, until they get better. But for me, I'm not going to go out here, and I know it's kind of contradictory because I just said, like, probably 2 or 3 days ago that I would play them more in the preseason. But like you said, when you get new information, I'm like, hold on, let me think about this. If your quarterback, say, for instance, if Deshaun Watson got hurt and he was done for the season, everybody
screwed.
Coach getting fired.
Yeah,
everybody. It's all done just because one person.
I think y'all looking at this in fear. That's
true.
It's fear.
You can't live in your fears.
The thing about football is if you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get hurt no matter what. Like that's just what it is. It's the football guy said it's your time to get hurt, and you're just gonna get hurt. Whether you play them a lot or play them none, these dudes back in the day used to play every game and they never got hurt. So why is it today all of a sudden y'all are afraid?
Well, I don't know that they never got hurt, but
they got
not necessarily any more than now.
Right. So I don't understand.
I mean, it was a little tougher. They had to go to wars, literally.
That's fine. That's fine. But the thing about this is, like I said, the reason that training camp is such a touchy thing because you go from not doing, I ain't gonna say you're not doing anything, you're training for 6 weeks, but you're not playing football. The only way to get into football shape is to play football. So now you're trying to get your body back to playing football at a rapid pace, and that's why your injuries are coming to take place. So that's why you see guys go down. I think the Browns are doing it the best way with having this extra week. They spent the whole week just jogging around, not even running full speed, jogging routes and stuff like that. Well, it's helping their bodies get back to what they're used to doing before they go 0 to 100.
I think all teams now are ramping up a little slower in the beginning, as opposed, they take some time before they get in pads, for example.
Yeah.
Right? And build up to it. So ultimately, how much do you think Deshaun Watson should play in the preseason?
I think he should play a quarter in the second game and a half in the third, and then sit out the fourth.
Do you not want him to play at all now?
I wouldn't be salty if he didn't. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be upset.
The guy that you seen, so you uncomfortable because he only took the one series in the first game, and we really didn't see him in the second or third.
Right.
So, and you seen how that rolled out after 11 weeks. So you're comfortable knowing that information because you fear that the quarterback that don't really do that much is going to get hurt. That's what you think.
I don't like that. I don't like people rolling out, pulling up.
Yeah.
I
get why
like
everybody's
that.
scared. I was freaking out with Burrow yesterday.
Yeah.
In the end, I think you're right, Tyvis. I don't think you want to overdo it with using guys in the preseason. And I heard yesterday, Tiki Barber, who's now doing afternoons on the Fan in New York, and I like Tiki. He's like, the wussification of football, nobody plays. That's stupid. You got to be smart about keeping players healthy. But I think Deshaun Watson needs some reps.
Yeah,
I think he does need reps.
At this point, Kevin Stefanski is a bye week away from either being employed or not. He's going out there. I don't care what you talking about. If my job is on the line, this thing has to work for the first 4 games.
I look at it this way. I always told people, if I'm going to play, I'm going to get hurt in the game. I'm not about to get hurt in no practice, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
the preseason is a game.
And so or if this is going to be preseason, I'm going to just let these backups play.
CG, that's the problem. And I'm coming at it from a different, my outlook on it is totally different because of where I was at. I was an undrafted guy fighting for this. If you take away my preseason games and I don't have a chance to make this roster, then that means coming into the season, they got their 53-man roster already made up.
You're going to play every game.
That's fine. That's fine. If that's the case,
y'all go
that's
play
fine.
every game.
That's fine.
Listen,
but you talking about getting rid of preseason games, period.
But if you're
what they do in college, they just go right to the season.
If you're the Bengals right now, you don't care if Joe Burrow at this point plays in the preseason.
No.
Even if he's ready to go by the second or third preseason.
No, he's not going to play in the preseason.
Not interested.
Yeah.
But Deshaun Watson has missed so much time the last 2 years.
He has to.
That it feels like it would be helpful for him to play in those games.
I'm not about to let an injury that he already didn't he have a leg injury or something?
Man, he done tore 2 ACLs before.
Yeah,
I'm not about to.
No.
I get it. Here's the thing about football. You ain't never gonna be right no more. The thing is, let's get them ramped up. Well, you don't tackle no more.
Yeah.
They took tackling out because they realized tackling is bad for you.
Right.
That's the thing about football. It ain't basketball. It's okay, let's shoot jumpers and we can do light. Anytime you step on that football field, there is a chance of you never returning. It's just what it is.
I'll tell you something they should do in the preseason, and I know the old school wussification people that complain about the sports being too soft will hate this, and probably the defensive players will hate this. You should not be able to sack a quarterback in the preseason.
Get out of here. Get out. Unmic yourself and walk off the set. Don't, shut up.
At least I tried to get rid of it.
Shut your mouth. I can't believe that you just said something like that.
They should absolutely do that. What is the benefit to hitting quarterback? The quarterbacks of the whole league, they're the most important players. That's a fact.
Ain't got nothing to do. Listen,
you can't get them hurt.
It ain't my quarterback.
That's the point.
My point is
don't matter.
No, they do matter.
No, they don't.
If my DN goes out there and sacks the other team's quarterback, you know who will thank him? 17 teams will say, thank you for doing that because you just made it easy for us.
What do you mean made it easy for you? Because he's hurt?
Because the quarterback's hurt. I don't have to worry about that quarterback for the year.
But the league doesn't want quarterbacks to get hurt, and nobody
wants
to get
clearly, that's why they came out when Tom Brady got hit.
That's what I'm saying,
That's what they
baby.
did.
Let's go.
I mean, you can't really hit them now to begin with
Flag
anyway.
football for the quarterback.
What are you talking about? You
Flag
can barely touch them now.
In the preseason. I'm not talking about the regular season.
No. They better have a quick whistle.
No, it's going to be
the referee better get a quick whistle.
You're out.
The offensive line better do a better job protecting their product. If it's that important, you need to spend more money on your offensive line.
I just feel like, you only have a certain amount of plays, when you playing football.
It's a dog-eat-dog
and you don't even really know how many plays that is. You just keep going to practice and doing it. But you're going to have to figure out a way. Because, I'm going to say it like this. If Joe Burrow had got hurt for the whole season, don't act like that would not have changed the way coaches is thinking.
100%.
Like, if he gets hurt for the season, let another quarterback go down. So it's gonna be people like, nah, we ain't playing.
That's the thing. So
and that's not necessarily right or smart.
No, but it doesn't even make sense. Joe Burrow got hurt from nobody touching him,
That's true.
rolling out, trying to throw a ball. So what are you going to change? What, we're not going to practice no more?
First of all, he had the sleeve on, right? Evidently,
What does that happen? Oh, my God.
Evidently, he already had the sleeve on, and he was not looking like he was 100%.
This is a shame.
So let me ask you a question. If you got the sleeve
James
on,
Rapine said he was looking good before
This
that.
is a shame.
I seen him make a throw. I said, "You looking gimpy, bro." I see him like this.
So what are you going to change? What would you have done differently?
Well, I've already told you what I do.
No, I'm talking about if you was the
In
Cincinnati
the end,
Bengals.
you're right. It's a freak accident. Nothing you can
Yeah,
do.
like,
I
what
don't
are we
think it's-
talking about?
But teams will panic about
But
it.
here's what.
Then what are they going to change, bull? We're not going to practice now?
Yeah, fair.
He got hurt rolling out in practice. Nobody touched him.
Watch
What do you want to do?
Watch this. This is cold. This cold right here. If, say, for instance, Joe Burrow was unfortunately out for the season, right? If all of a sudden 2 days later, Lamar Jackson out for the season.
This happened before, actually.
If I'm the Browns, Deshaun Watson is on ice. He's not doing nothing.
That's sad.
Listen,
sad.
what you mean that's sad?
That's so sad.
What you mean, Tyvus? You got an opportunity.
Listen.
That's the division.
Hold on, wait a minute.
That's the division.
So let me talk to you from experience.
Okay.
All right. Can I go back to my college days?
Go ahead.
Let me remind you of 2014 of a training camp. What happened? We was in practice. The Ohio State Buckeyes was getting ready to go in the season. We got a quarterback that's a Heisman hopeful.
Braxton Miller?
Braxton Miller goes down. Nobody touches him. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we like, oh, man, the season's over. You know what happened at the end of that year? Steve, can you get a close-up on this?
College.
Can you get a close-up on this thing
That's
right
not
here?
happening in the NFL.
This so happened to happen. Now, our starting quarterback went down.
Yeah.
But at the end of 2014 season, you see that happened. So
That's a bad
So
comparison.
I'm just saying,
and that's
it happened.
because
You're right, but that
happened.
don't happen in the
Did
NFL.
it not happen?
Although it did happen in the NFL, actually, because Nick Foles.
Well, that's,
Exactly.
well, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's give them the total picture. The reason that happened was they had a highly recruited quarterback from Texas named J.T. Barrett.
Was he highly recruited?
Yes, he was. He
Was he a 4-star?
We would have took a 4-star on you. We don't sniff 4 stars.
What difference does that make?
That's how much talent you got. You ain't.
Oh my
hey, you got a
God.
5-star. You don't
Look
count.
at this
And
here.
by the way,
So
by the way, hold on. By the way, you also had Cardell Jones.
So let me give you a more recent one.
Y'all had 6
You ready for
quarterbacks.
this one? The San Francisco 49ers took a quarterback. They traded 2 first-round picks, took a quarterback with, I think, the 3rd pick of the draft. He goes down.
Trey Lance.
They bring in Mr. What is it called? Irrelevant.
Well, actually,
Mr.
they brought in
Irrelevant.
Jimmy Garoppolo, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So they went and got Jimmy G. He was a 2nd-round pick.
Mr. Irrelevant came in there, undefeated.
Played well.
Undefeated. And took them to place that nobody thought that they would go.
I think in the end, I think you get a little extreme in your example.
It's not extreme.
However,
how is that not? Explain to me how that's extreme.
Because it's unusual for a guy drafted that late to end up being
What
good.
I'm saying is it happens.
It happens, sure. In the end, I do agree. Like, even if Burrow and Lamar Jackson on back-to-back days went out for the year, Deshaun Watson isn't any more likely to get hurt because of that.
But I'm putting him on bubble wrap.
But I think Tyvus is right. You can't live in your fear.
It depends on how Lamar went down.
Go ahead. Let's send it to Anthony here for a second.
Yeah, guys, so this is actually a perfect transition, but before we get into our next topic, I just want to tell everybody we're close to 25,000 subscribers. It's a big milestone for us, and we're really excited about it. So go tell your friends, go tell your family, go subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. You'll get your notifications for all of our live shows and our videos that we post every day. We look forward to hitting that 25,000, and we appreciate you guys for supporting us. And as we get into the next topic, I want to bring it, Tyvus is talking about how coaches are going to change their ideas if players get hurt. As you as a fan, are you excited when a rival goes down? Like, would you have been excited as a Browns fan watching Joe Burrow go down?
Well, as a fan or as a former player, because it's a different hat I got to put on.
Well,
we'll take both.
Either way.
As a former player, no. I mean, obviously you'd be like, all right, we ain't got to worry about Joe Burrow no more. And as a fan, you'll say the same thing. But then that'll be that excuse, you know. It'll be that we didn't have Joe's stuff, and I'm a competitor. I want to beat you at your best, and I want to let you know that I'm better than you and I'm more dominant than you when you're at your best. So, therefore, I would have been a little bit bummed. If it would have been Joe Burrow, I personally would have been bummed because me and Joe is cool like that. I definitely didn't want to see him go down for that reason. But, you know, as a fan, yeah, it makes your team have a better chance of winning. Your team ultimately be successful because you don't have to play them. But you'll always have that asterisk. You have to hear that BS about they wasn't full capacity. And I'm not with the excuses, even though I did make a ton on Wednesday about the softball game. But that's not what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I heard it was a rough day for you.
Don't worry about it. It's in the past. It's in the past.
Tough. Man, I'm gonna tell you,
Your team was pathetic, huh?
Yeah, he was bad.
Tyvus, you had that glove up there like this. That boy.
It's been a while. You know how Deshaun Watson was rusty after 11 games? I was rusty after a year.
You know how when you first teaching a kid how to catch a ball and they don't understand between turning it over and doing this?
Yeah.
He had that glove running. Boy, you about to get hit in the face.
Can we see that?
No, absolutely not.
Let me just.
I got to see that later in the show.
If we have time.
I got to see that later in the show. So, G, are you, there's a chance Joe Burrow's not going to play now week 1 against the Browns. Are you excited about that?
It sucks for the Bengals. They say, look. The way I come at it is all's fair in love and war.
You terrible.
So when you I like Joe Burrow. I know his pops. He's from Athens. He was there as a ball boy for OU for years.
He was a ball boy when you were playing?
Yes.
How have I never heard this story before?
There's nothing to tell. He was the ball boy. He was young.
Yeah, but that's pretty. I mean, the guy's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Like
now.
He went to Athens High. He broke all the records.
So you knew him when he was a little kid?
I mean, I don't know how when you're grown, you can't really know a little kid that's not your son. Like I don't just make it a choice to know little kids. But no, you see him and he's playing throwing the ball with his dad.
Yeah.
But he was, as he was getting older, he was like in high school when my brother was playing. So they was like, hey man, Joe Burrow's down here. Coach Burrow's kid is an All-American. I said, where? Doing what? And he was the real deal. Yeah. But here's my thing. A lot of people won't admit this, but when you're trying to play somebody, like, let's be clear, you want them out of the game. Like, if as a defensive lineman, I'm programmed to get you up out of the game. Now, listen, I don't want to tear your ACLs or make you paralyzed or anything, but if I hit you and you just got to go out the game, mission accomplished. We need to get that football back, and we need to do whatever we can to make sure we minimize his skill set. Now, for me, a lot of people say, oh, you never want to see anybody hurt. Well, listen, bro, I don't know if y'all been in the trenches. In the trenches, it is what it is, bro. Like, they get me. They didn't nobody stand on a pedestal and cry for me.
Yeah,
when I had 17 surgeries and they cut me below my ankles and waist, and I'm up there getting tossed up like a cheap floozy.
You didn't have good technique on how to
floozy.
You ain't know how to kill it when
Man,
they cut.
They got killers up
you
there.
got to kill the head. You got to stop the head.
And then there's his boy over here just beating your ribs up.
Well, they can't do that no more.
I played in the dark
They
age.
can't do that no more.
Think about this. Now, I don't root for guys to get hurt. I don't root for guys to get hurt. But think about this. The Bengals, I believe, in week 1 are favored by 3 over the Browns. The game's in Cleveland. I think the Bengals, last time I looked, were a 3-point favorite in the game. Mm-hmm. If Trevor Siemian is playing in that game instead of Joe Burrow, that's going to change this point spread, 7 points? Maybe more?
By the way,
4.5.
This is what
the Browns will be favored.
Yeah, 1.5.
Trevor Siemian's
About
playing
1.5.
But the crazy thing about the NFL, and this is why it's the best league in the world, Trevor Siemian, I'm old enough to remember when Trevor Siemian
Beat the Browns.
Beat the brakes off the Browns out in Denver.
What, the Broncos?
Yes. We done lost to people coming off the street.
It's like 0-16.
Zappy. Taylor Zappy.
Bailey.
With some respect
on it.
He's so useless you didn't remember his name.
But Bailey Zappi broke every record in college.
Bro, that's college.
What you mean?
He was off the street, college.
He ain't off the street. The guy is a talented passer.
43 points.
There was another backup quarterback with the Broncos. They lost
Joe
to.
Flacco.
No.
Oh, you talking about?
Well, they lost to Flacco.
It was another one.
2-3 years ago they lost.
Yeah, they did.
There was another slap.
Oh, it's actually I came there the week after. His name was Brandon
Allen.
Brandon. Oh yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
He was actually the Bengals' backup last year.
He was terrible.
Then I've seen the Browns play around and mess around. This is last year when they played the Bengals. They said, well, you know what? They had all their receivers out.
Yeah.
So that kind of threw us for a curve.
Right.
I
That's
said,
right.
bro, so
We
I don't care
didn't
who
know
shows-
what to do. We didn't have a game plan.
I don't care who shows up. They better be ready to play if it's me at quarterback. But at the end of the day, like the Bengals is good enough offensively to come in, still get some points. So even if he don't play, I'm still not sitting here chalking no wins up.
Oh no! I mean, this is as you say, it's the NFL and it's one game. The Bengals aren't winning the Super Bowl with Trevor Siemian. No, they could win a couple of games with him, and they could certainly still beat the Browns. You like the Browns' chances better against Siemian than you do against Burrow, but still, I mean, it's most NFL games are close for a reason.
Yes.
This isn't not college. They're not playing.
It'd be 3-point game.
It makes you relax. You as a fan, if you know you don't have to worry about Joe Burrow and how great he is, you'll be like, I'll take that win. That's cool.
It's so tough though, because I've seen us when we really trying against. We be trying our hardest. When we lost to Duck Hodges one year, I said, "Oh, you see what I'm saying? I got 6-7 quarterbacks out of names."
Let me ask you guys this. One other thing about
we weren't good at that time.
Let me ask you this. One other thing about the I got to tell you, and we're all part of this, right? Because football, as you said, football is a monster. There's a variety of reasons why football has pulled so far away from the other sports. Mm-hmm. Some of it's the easiest sport to gamble on. Mm-hmm. There's less of a time commitment, right?
Is it the easiest sport to gamble
easiest.
on?
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Most people don't even know how to bet on baseball and hockey. It's too confusing. Basketball is similar to football in terms of a point spread. But like, how many times in basketball do you see you guys don't play for no reason? That doesn't happen in football, and it screws up the line. Or they're favored by 8, and then every team, even the crappy teams, make a run at the end to make the games closer. It's the easiest sport to bet on. Plus, there's less of a time commitment. With baseball, it's 6-7 days a week. With basketball and hockey, it's at least 3 days a week. With football, it's once a week.
And
I gotta lock in for.
And they ramp you up. Like you could. It's the funnest fantasy football.
That's right.
Right. And every game means something.
Every game means more than any other sport. Every game matters. So that's and it's the most violent of the sports, and people like violence.
Oh, is it violent now?
It's less violent than it used to be.
I'm about to say, because they are really doing a great job of making it protected.
There's still, as you know, and you both know better than anybody, the hits are freaking violent. So that's why the NFL is so popular, and we're all part of it. Like, we spend a ton of time talking about the NFL and training camp. But I gotta say, as I was browsing Twitter over the last bunch of days when I was away, I see all these videos, not just from the Browns, but like across the country. Look at this play by this guy. Look at this play by this guy. And I got to say, this is ridiculous.
It's shorts.
It's practice. They're in shorts.
Don't do that.
There's no What do you mean don't do that?
Because I just told you. I seen a clip.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Anthony, I think, got the clip. We'll play it in a second.
Yeah.
I can't. Tag board's not working today.
Oh, well, it's a clip of Elijah Moore and Denzel. Did you see that clip I sent yesterday?
Yeah. So
that was good on good. That's a game rep.
And here's the thing about Denzel Ward. That's why I was asking you. Why the hell would you saw that man split out there, Tyvis? You saw the split, Elijah Moore split. He was damn near by the tackle. What way is he going? Is he going to beat you in a crossing route, a slant?
What's the easiest throw in the end zone?
A quick slant.
There you go. There you go.
But when you look at the split,
I rest the defense rest.
But guess what? If you playing something, don't you got help over the middle?
I don't know what the call is.
So here's what I'm.
What are we playing?
Here's what I'm like. I got help inside.
What is the call?
I'm not about to let you.
What coverage?
I don't know what the call coverage is.
But Tyvis, the bottom line is, you could point out a play and say, "Wow, that's a great route run by Elijah Moore."
It's a great rep. It was a great rep. The whole thing.
Fine. But when you're practicing and the quarterback knows he's not getting hit, and the wide receiver knows he's not getting tackled, and the cornerback knows that nobody's coming to his blind side to knock his ass off it's different. You can't as a fan. You see, what you don't understand is you watch football with an educated eye because you played. But most of us did not play, And so there's a bunch of slapdicks out there saying, wow, this translates. And they have no idea. It's not that people using plays in practice as if this guy's going to be great this year because he made this one play in practice.
No,
is stupid.
See, that is stupid.
But a lot of fans do that. And part of that is because the coverage is just so crazy.
Well, I seen something dumb yesterday where I was watching, it was some Dallas clips, and Dak Prescott threw this ball threw a quick slant to his receiver. The receiver, it bounces off the receiver's hand, and the DB catches it. Yeah. And they say, this is the worst throw by Dak Prescott I've seen, and they said that he's going to probably break the interception record.
What?
And I'm like, the receiver literally was a perfect ball. Boom, it bounced off his hands, and the DB came. I'm like, how is that Dak's fault? Like, what are you talking about?
By the way, even if he had made a bad throw, it's still stupid to say he's going to lead the league in interceptions based on a practice throw.
Yeah,
it's just dumb.
There's a lot. It's bad because I think participation is down. Now, before, you used to have guys that you used to play with, and those guys may not went to college, but they still played ball in high school. You know, when the concussion stuff came out, there was a lot of people that just straight up said, my kid ain't going to play that. You're going to play soccer or lacrosse or they're going to do something else, right, besides football because it's a little too violent. There was a whole thing where people were, like, asking football players because of the CTE thing, would you let your son play? And so I think there's a lot less people that have been indoctrinated into the game, and a lot more people are just casual fans who watch their team and watch the games. Right. I think one of the things that you say that is spot on is there's a lot of people who overestimate like who's in your camp, who's on your team, because you're not watching the Raiders or you're not seeing the Vikings. Like, I can't go into a game and be like, oh my God, these guys are trash. And you're like, well, hold on, like. There's little tertiary players like Donovan Peoples-Jones or a third tackle that you know that you've been watching, but you don't get the same feel for other teams. So you kind of off base. It's just like a guessing game a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. It isn't. By the way, do you know what we know in football there's a lot of concussions. Do you know what, in terms of girls, and I think it includes college women, what sport for women has the most concussions?
Is it soccer?
Lacrosse.
No, neither.
Field hockey?
Basketball.
Basketball's second.
Is it gymnastics?
Softball.
Not gymnastics, no.
Volleyball? Did anybody guess that?
Dance.
Maybe you guys sit up close. Cheerleading.
Oh, that's great.
That's the most concussion. I never forget this, by the way. I was calling a Division III basketball game at the Rochester Institute of Technology, right? By the way, most of their players at RIT are deaf.
Wow.
Oh, really?
And it's pretty cool. I mean, not cool that they're deaf, but it's cool that they're able to play with such good chemistry. They're like they've been at
basketball,
a pretty decent Division III team.
Deaf basketball.
Not every player on the team is deaf, but there's a lot of deaf students at this school.
Okay.
So we were playing against them, and I'm calling the game, right? And at I don't remember if it was halftime or it was in the middle of the game. The cheerleading squad from RIT went out and did a routine, and they dropped this girl right on her face. It was awful. And they had to take her out in an ambulance. Meanwhile, selfishly for me, I'm like, I got to kill 45 minutes of time for the 37 people listening to my Division III women's basketball game.
My goodness.
But yeah, that was awful. One of the worst things I've ever seen.
She was like bleeding and whatnot?
Whole face was busted up. She fell right on her face.
There's a guy on Reels. You talk about going down the rabbit hole. Reels.
Right.
There's a guy who teaches his daughter. Like, he's like a cheer dad.
Yeah.
And she was, and he'd be really going hard at it. He was like, that is not good. Do you know the reason I'm yelling at you right now?
Spirit fingers.
It's because you're gonna fall. If you're gonna believe in yourself, you have to follow through with the flip. You can't stop in midair. You're gonna hurt yourself. And she was like, Daddy, I'm sorry. I'll go through with the flip next time. And people, she does it. She's like,
how old is she?
She's like 6, 7.
Oh my God!
And so
I hate parents that do it that early.
people are
I get it. I
and
get that you want to be dedicated.
She's out there in her whole little fit. And you're like, oh, come on, dog. You yelling at her, bro.
Well, let's go yell at Anthony for a second. Anthony.
Yeah, guys, so we have a PCC Airfoils read. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. And all locations of PCC in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions at $18 and up, plus a full benefit package, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. So before we move on to our next topic, I want to
By the way, let me school you up for a second, Anthony. Like when we send it, you don't have to say we have a PCC read. Just jump into the read.
All right.
Just jump right into it.
I'll take tips. I'm good with that. But so Steve Becker sent us a very funny tweet from the Bengals. Says, everybody, please stop calling and offering us your calf muscles. It doesn't work like that. Joey will be back.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, if you need my calf muscle, I got pretty huge calves.
Yeah, he bull does.
I'll give you my calf. I will. Nah, screw him. I'm not.
And in the same vein of Joe Burrow, we went out and gave our audience a poll. Be honest, do you cheer when players from your rival team get hurt?
I thought you were going to say, be honest, do you like my calves?
Yeah, right.
That
go
too.
ahead.
We'll make that tomorrow.
Yeah.
456 votes, 12% of you said yes, 54% of you said no, and then 35% of you said maybe a little, even though we know it's not right.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people that was keeping it real.
Yeah.
If you in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna just give you an example. This is the reason I got a PhD in catching fool slipping.
Yeah.
If you are in the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game and Patrick Mahomes goes out of that game,
That happened to us.
I know, and we didn't capitalize.
We did.
And we let him off the hook.
We had him right when we wanted him, and we let him off the
Jaguars
hook.
when he got hurt this past year.
They let him off
He
the
got
hook.
hurt in the Jaguars game?
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
You haven't watched quarterback yet. You got to watch that.
I'm on episode 2.
Dude, he had a high ankle sprain.
And he was
And
crying.
against the Bengals the next week, he looked totally fine.
Yeah, they shot him up. They had to do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, I'm in the heat of the game, bro. I'm like, let's go.
And you know what? If we're totally honest about it, I don't like root for injuries going into a game. But when Odell got hurt in the Super Bowl against the Bengals because he looked like he was having a good game, I wasn't upset. I wasn't like, oh my God,
I was like, dang, man, he really was about to win MVP.
I was because it was selfishly approved my point.
That's what I was too.
It wasn't like it was selfishly. I wanted to go over the top and be like, y'all said he was washed.
Speaking of proving a point, did you see the whining from Baker yesterday?
Yeah, he was, bro.
I seen you tweet it, but I didn't watch the video.
Well, so Baker in his press conference was like, well, I'm different than other guys. I don't care what people outside say about me. He cares more than everybody else.
He said, when he said that,
he got rabbit ears.
Really? When did you not stop caring about people?
Then he goes, I only lost my job in Cleveland because I got hurt. And then Carolina was, whatever. Yeah, right.
Is that what he said?
Basically, yeah. Verbatim. Like, what's the excuse there? It's just whatever.
And he skipped right over the Rams. He was like,
whatever.
Hey, remember, you know how you used to be going to job market and be like, sir, we see a gap of employment right here. It seems that you didn't work from 2008
I gotta go back. Is it the clip you tweeted yesterday? He said the whatever thing.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that.
I thought he was going to come up with some interesting excuse as to why he sucked in Carolina. It was just like, it was whatever.
And kept pushing.
He kind of almost like he had a secret reason that he didn't want to share why he sucked there.
What do you mean, whatever? You literally came in at the beginning, started.
Yeah.
Like went through the whole camp, and it just didn't work out.
And of course, every time I tweet something about Baker, and in reality, I don't really tweet about Baker much anymore these days. But every once in a while, when I still do, I get people, he's living rent-free in your head. Why do you keep tweeting about him? Well, I want you to talk about the Browns. I talk about the Browns all the time.
No, you just don't let. Here's translation.
Yeah.
I used to like Baker Mayfield. He's not good anymore. I used to sit up there and wave pom-poms.
Yeah.
Now I feel guilty about it. Just let it be.
Stop reminding me.
Yeah, stop reminding me about
Translation, this is my Twitter account. I'm going to say what I want.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly right.
You should do
All
this.
right, Anthony, what are we moving to now, buddy?
So real quick, I do have a super chat I want to read from Haslam Youssef. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Bull, you don't have any idea what it's like to play. You're a downer, and everyone is tired of it. So
I'm a
you're taking
downer?
some shots in chat today, Bull. But moving on.
I thought Bull was pretty positive today.
I thought so too, but
the
not
idea that I'm
everybody
a
thinks
downer
about
is
it.
ridiculous. He's a loser. I admit that I don't know anything about playing. When did I say I was an authority on playing?
Either way, we appreciate
Have
your
I
super
ever
chat.
said I'm an authority on playing? I've said many times I never played at any kind of high level of football. I'm not an authority on playing. I don't claim to be an authority on playing. But thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. We appreciate the super chat. And
Have
moving
fun
on,
in Mom's
we're going to do
basement,
our 32 and 32.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about
Anthony. Can we do a telethon? And you can do a super chat. We'll start it at $10 for you to say mean tweets to Bull. We want to say.
I should read them.
We would actually make the show's budget back in like an hour.
So if you want to say something mean to Bull, we will definitely play it on air. No cursing. They can get me if you want to. But yeah, we'll do that, and we'll see how much money we can raise.
No, they can curse.
But
they can't. They curse.
But you can't just say anything about his family.
The family's off limits.
So, but anything you want to say about me, that's fine.
Yeah. Listen, there's always going to be a percentage of the population that assumes I'm being negative for some whatever reason.
It's because you're a Cincinnati fan.
I can't help it with those people. Yusuf, you're not a loser. I shouldn't have called you a loser. You're a hater. And you're negative.
You downgraded me.
But I like you anyway. I don't think you're a loser.
You downgraded him.
Don't be so negative. Go ahead.
We're talking about Sione Takitaki's impact on the Browns for our 32 and 32 today before True and False.
Is it sad that he's one of their 32 best players?
Kinda.
Or is everybody's 29th best player equivalent to Sione Takitaki?
Once again, right?
Probably, right?
Probably.
So,
it's probably his
we overhype some of our guys, and we are critical of our 30th guy, and we would be probably for any team.
So listen, 29 is respectable. Because at least you're in the top 32. I mean, you got to think about it. It's 11 on offense, 11 on defense.
Right.
He's not a starter.
So, I mean, kind of is, no?
He's in that second
platoon. How is he the second? The two star linebackers is JOK and Anthony Walker.
Well, technically, aren't there 3 starting linebackers or no?
Yeah, if you want to play the graphics game.
You want to play that game. Yeah. If you want to play that game, but we're going to be a nickel quite often in this league. So
you know how on the NFL standings late in the year, it'll list the teams in the mix?
Yeah.
He's like in the mix for the Browns.
He's in the rotation.
It's because, you know why he's in the mix? Because I stood here last year and I said, y'all need to stop putting that man at Sam and put him in the inside, in the box. And Anthony Walker goes down. Jacob Phillips goes down. Boom, they put him in the box. He looks like a superstar at middle linebacker. And I'm just like, hello.
I think you're maybe overstating a little bit superstar, but I will agree with you, and you were right.
He was good.
He played better.
Yeah.
He had his best year last year. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
So I think that's what made him get to 29. I mean, obviously, you know, it was they gave him a 1-year deal. Obviously, he's coming back off the ACL injury, but he was very productive in there. And that Mike linebacker position, Anthony Walker is the name that we are comfortable with, but you know, it's not nothing set in stone. Whoever comes back and plays the best is probably going to be the Mike linebacker. And like I say, the way he was playing, he was trending in a great direction before he got hurt.
I think his injury is more serious than Anthony Walker. So
his came later than Anthony Walker.
Yeah, so he might not be able to get on the field as quickly. But he's a big part of it. Because we're gonna come back and eviscerate him if they don't.
Wasn't he on the show last year? He came on last year.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
I mean,
shout out to him.
If you look at it, you said whoever. I mean, really, that's the case with the whole linebacker position. I mean,
there's nothing.
JOK is kind of in stone.
But I don't think he should be. I mean, what's he
right.
done, right?
You're absolutely right.
If there's some guy we never heard of that's an undrafted player, I feel like this doesn't happen much with the Browns, but it happens in the NFL. And this guy's like, wow, this guy's something about him. He fell through the cracks. Let him play.
You wasn't here on Wednesday when Zach Jackson came on. He was saying that the linebacker position right now, because obviously Taki's not out there, Anthony Walker's not out there, and he said, what's out there right now? And we rolling with them, it's going to be a long season.
So there's nobody doing that.
Yeah.
But it's early. It's still early. Camp just started.
Yeah. So they gotta.
I mean, we knew that's the biggest weakness on the team going in.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter who's at linebacker. If the defensive tackle position is not fixed, it's going to be the same thing. Because this, and Jim Schwartz's defense, which I watched some film on Tuesday night, it's literally almost the same thing as Joe Woods was doing. The defensive tackle's got to eat up 2 blocks and keep the linebackers free. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't matter if Ray Lewis is that linebacker. They ain't going to get off the blocks because they're undersized.
I think the problem that I got is even with the linebackers, even when they is clean, they miss way too many tackles.
Right, so that's where
they did not miss.
They missed way too many tackles.
They didn't miss. JOK might have missed a few.
Yeah, but
they didn't.
That's where it does matter. If you have better guys, you're not going to get blocked every play. Even if your D tackles suck, it's not every play.
Open field tackling they have is terrible. I seen them. Times they come out giving that arm. Olay, you know what that arm is.
Throw that
I
hand
hate
out.
that arm.
That's how you tell your pec
That's how you
muscle.
tell your
pec doing
you
that.
doing that. So that means y'all cats, it's just bad. The tackling be
Move your
bad.
feet. You just move your feet.
Sometimes they take terrible angles.
That's what it is.
JOK
Instead of throwing the hand, I just
Sometimes
move
they
your
don't.
feet.
I seen Phillips on film.
And he's like really good, but when he's locked in,
I was like, bro, the guard is right there. You see where the ball going. What are you still standing there for? He took 3 false steps and got blocked in the same spot he was in. I said, I don't know what they're gonna do.
It was a
That's
game against.
instincts,
Don't
isn't
you
it?
remember the Falcons game when I broke it down? I think it was.
That was worse.
Was it Deion Jones? Somebody was the ball was already declared,
yeah, it was.
and he
It
was
was
still
Deion.
standing there. I'm like,
Is that all
dude,
instincts?
go.
Is that instincts, or is it some of it the way they're being coached?
It can't be.
So it's instincts.
It gotta be because at some point it's like, dude,
Because the ball
it's
is
telling
all-
you where it's going. Go.
The ball, like if you watch the linemen, right? If you just watch the linemen, like we don't like in the front 7, we don't watch the ball like that. Your lineman, your man that you're over, your key tells you where the ball is. You don't look for the ball. You know what I'm saying? So there's times when his key is the guard. The guard is already chipping to the next level. He's running outside zone. That's full flow. You're supposed to be shot out of a gun.
Yeah.
And he's still standing there.
So listen, when I was in Seattle, I learned from Cam Chancellor. You know, Cam plays in the box. You know, box safeties is essentially linebackers. So I was asking Cam, like, you know, what are you reading? You know, like, what's your reads? How do you be knowing where the ball is going? And he said that it's like a little triangle that he looks at. So, as a safety or as a down safety, your initial key is the tight end, right? So he would look at the tight end to the guard to the backfield. Because if it's a run and it's a pull, obviously the guard's going to pull and go. You know to flow that way, and the tight end's going to go down like this. But if it's not, everybody's going to flow that way. You can see everything. So what I would say, if I was a linebacker, I would use that same model where I would look at those 3. Now, you got to have a good vision to be able to see, you know, obviously they're not that far apart. They're 2 people away, and then see the running back in the backfield. But if you see, when I did it, I was very successful on seeing where the ball was going.
So when you got that advice from him, did that make you better?
It definitely did. I knew exactly where the ball was going.
You know, even if you don't maybe have, like as a young player, you're like, well, what the hell am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing here. It can be taught.
Yeah, it's all about, in football, it's all about your eyes. If your eyes is in the right spot, it'll take you to where the ball is a lot of the times. A lot of people, you get caught up looking at the wrong thing. You look at the quarterback, you look at this tackle, something like that, then now you messed up. But if your eyes is where you're supposed to be, it'll tell you everything you need to know. That's part of film study.
Yeah.
Find the guy that's going to give you a key to tell that's what's to come of the play. Like, that's part of film study. Like, Earl would sit there and watch the same play 100 times, and I'd be like, what are you looking at? And he'd be like, you know what, man, after watching this play 99
I thought
times.
you were talking about Earl.
No,
Earl
Thomas. Earl Thomas.
Yeah, I realized that eventually.
Earl would be like, after watching this play 99 times, I see that the guard is the key on this play. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? He said, look at him. He's sitting back in his stance. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, he is sitting back.
And that shows you how important the film. Like, we don't talk about film.
I've been telling
lot,
people that for 2 years.
No, that's true, and that's why, like, the guys that are working harder have a huge edge.
Yeah.
The guys that are putting in more time, even if they're less talented.
That film study is everything in the league because it's all above shoulders. Everybody's physically gifted in the league, but what do you see? Your eyes, your mind, can you dictate what's coming? Like, that's what makes you, that separates you from being a good player to a great player.
We always think about, like, guys' physical talents, like coming off the combine. It's like, how strong is he? How fast is he? But it's really about how smart are you, how good a studier, how good a worker you are, how much
you know who taught me
you do
that? It was a dude that played for the Cleveland Browns that went to Wisconsin to be a coach. His name is Jim Leonard, white safety.
I remember him, yeah.
Jim Leonard could make plays. Jim Leonard he wasn't more athletic than me when I was in high school, but that boy made plays. He knew where the ball was going. Yeah. And I said, how do you be knowing this? And so what he did one day was, because my coach was like a coach of his when he was younger, and he gave his playbook to my coach and said, give this to your players and show them what it takes.
Oh, wow.
If you can see the notes that dude took for film, I said, oh, yeah, if this is what you got to do to be
what
great.
A difference maker.
Man,
I mean,
it was so detailed.
Think about if you're a base. My son was asking me this morning, why is it because in Little League, all the pitches are basically the same, right? But he's like, how come it's easier for a baseball player to hit if he knows what pitch is coming? That may sound obvious to us, but he's 10 years old, so he didn't really get it. So I explained it to him. But in a way, it's similar to that. If you're playing safety, and you may not be right every time, but if you know what's coming, what an advantage that is. Like, if you're playing baseball and you know it's going to be a changeup, you know it's going to be a curveball, what kind of advantage? I mean, that's a massive advantage. And that's going to make up for a lack of talent all the time.
It teaches you how to play. Like I say, in Seattle was a lot of the times where I learned we went up against the Chiefs when they had Tyreek Hill. This is prime Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
If you ever watch when Seattle played the Chiefs and they had KJ Wright at linebacker, if Tyreek Hill was at number 3 and he was on the ball, KJ was a linebacker.
Explain for those who don't understand.
Number 3, so you count outside
right.
in. So he's the third receiver close to the tight end, to the tackle, and he's on the ball. So he's on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
If he was lined up like that against the Seattle's defense, because Seattle runs cover 3 all the time, that means he's running a deep over route. And obviously Tyreek
every
Hill,
time.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Probably 98% of the time he's running the over route. So if you watch him, you'll see KJ Wright was the outside linebacker. Yeah. His responsibility is he got to carry Tyreek Hill on the over route. Obviously, the speed difference is huge.
Yeah.
So what KJ did was, instead of playing 5 yards off the ball, he lined up 10 yards off the ball, like dang near with the safeties. And he played it like that because that was his only chance of beating.
Right.
And if he gave up a 6-yard run, so be it. But you can't afford to give up this deep shot.
Past you, it's over.
Right.
That's fascinating. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, guys, so we're going to be moving on to true and false. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody that Mike Earl and I have a podcast now. It's called Behind the Glass, and it gives you guys a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look on how the production team works, how we come up with our topics, and we get to talk about our ideas as well on and off the show. So you can check it out. We usually do it. We've been doing it on Wednesday nights around 7, and it's on UCSS YouTube channel. But now it's time for True and False. And True and False today is our brand new Cleveland Guardian, Noah Syndergaard.
Aha.
Oh, my gosh. I know nothing.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready for this first one?
Let's work.
Let's do it.
Steve, let's do this. So, first up, Noah Syndergaard has more career home runs than Miles Straw. Is that true or false?
It better be. Oh, I know for it. Well,
You don't know Syndergaard's a pitcher, right?
I do know that. Yeah, I know that.
If this
Well, that's the thing.
if
I seen some highlights.
if this is the truth, I'm cutting my straw by myself.
Oh, yeah, this is 100% true.
It better be.
Yeah, you can take it, Steve. It is 100% true.
I want to say.
How embarrassing.
that one right.
I already knew.
So, just so you know, Syndergaard has 6 career home runs, and Straw has 5.
Oh, yeah,
How many less at-bats does he have?
That I did not look into.
A
but
lot.
It was such a funny fact.
That's a shame.
Maybe 1,000 less at-bats?
That's a
And
shame.
you know what? I'm gonna be belligerent by bull.
That's a shame.
If I catch another baseball diehard try to justify that contract for Miles Straw, I got to go all the way in like we talking about Imani Bates, because that's unacceptable. And the fact that they gave him a bag of money and he has 5 home runs.
Yeah.
He's a great locker
Locker
room guy.
That reminds me, did you see that tweet? I tagged you in this tweet. I got to look up the guy's name real quick. All right, go to number 2 and then I'll come back.
Yeah, so we'll do number 2 while you look for that. Number 2, guys. Syndergaard was named Fort Worth's Star Telegram's Player of the Year his senior year of high school. True or false?
Syndergaard was named the Fort Worth Star Telegram's Player of the Year.
I guess.
All right, Steve, we can take it. It is going to be true.
Dang.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Trying to keep score back here.
guessing.
So that is G and Bull got that one. Tyvis got that one wrong. Make sure you pay attention to some of these questions because they might help you in the future. Number 3.
So wait a second. I got to shout out this guy. His name is Lord Luke. He calls himself Lord Luke on Twitter. You know Lord Luke?
Cam from Canada.
I know Lord Knight.
No, not from Cam from Canada. Yeah, here's Lord Luke. I'll put his picture up there. There you go.
Oh, I think I saw this.
So I ran into him. He works at one of the restaurants at the Cleveland airport. And I sat down with my son to grab some food, and he recognized me, and we were talking, and he goes, "You got to give my guy Imani Bates a chance." And so we were talking about it. I said, okay, for you and G and Earl,
You give him a
I'm
shot.
going to give him a full chance.
You're gonna give him a full shot.
Because-
Hey, get him a round of applause for Bull for
Because he
giving
was
him
he was a good guy.
a full chance. That
He was
means-
a good guy.
And you also said that you will be watching the games this year.
I am.
They made
changes.
moves.
They made changes.
They made
I'm gonna
moves.
There
watch
it goes.
People
All right.
change, Bull. All right, number 3.
Yeah.
Syndergaard was an All-Star in 2016 and 2019.
What the hell happened in the, between them? I guess we can go to
I mean, I know he was an all-star, but I don't remember.
I'm gonna go with
I don't know what
All right,
years.
G's saying true.
I don't remember years, so.
Tyvis is saying true. Bull is saying true. It is, in fact, false. He was only an All-Star in 2016.
I should have known that.
So he been fell off, huh?
He fell off.
This year is particularly bad. He hasn't
fell
been
off
very
during
good the
COVID.
last few years, but this year he's been, much worse.
So he's a bullpen guy.
No, he's
I
a
think
starter.
he's going to start Monday.
He's a starter.
Oh,
that's-
really?
Yeah.
He's starting for us
Yeah,
on
he's
Monday?
coming off the injured list to start Monday.
Hey, you know what's cool? Hopefully he get that switching leagues little bump. You know they'd be switching
could.
leagues and they'd be like, oh, we don't know what this guy is.
Listen, the guy's not the pitcher he was when he first came up with the Mets. Wouldn't stun me, though, if he had a few decent starts for them.
All right, so number 4, when he came up from the Mets, was Syndergaard a first-round pick by the Toronto Blue Jays in 2010?
I mean, it's
I have no. I
Man,
feel
it's
like
crazy.
this is
What
something that Bull would
this
know.
is an itty, meeny, miny, mo, bro. I'm like, I don't know. Man, listen.
I only had to do 2 scrolls down Wikipedia to find most of these, so. Tyvis, you're saying false.
I'm going to go with true.
G's
I
going
guess.
with true.
I guess, bro.
That's true.
And Bull's going with true. It is, in fact, true. So real quick, Bull's got 3, G's got 2, and Tyvis, you have 1.
No, I got
Yeah,
2.
the Mets traded for him.
You got 2 kids.
I believe.
No, I think I had. Well, we all. Oh no, we got it wrong. I too only got one. Hey.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You could look this up on Baseball Reference. I believe he was traded to the Mets as part of a deal that included former knuckleball pitcher R.A. Dickey. It's a great name.
Hey,
I
man.
believe that is correct,
See
but I
if
will
I'm right
double check
about
it
that.
Can
after the game.
you name besides Tom Candiotti and R.A. Dickey 2 other knuckleball pitchers?
Who's the first one you said?
Tom Candiotti.
Tim Wakefield
There it is.
and Phil Necro.
Every time we do baseball,
And Hoyt Wilhelm,
never
I think,
do
was
well.
a knuckleballer.
See,
too.
I'm bringing Bull as part of my team. Phone a friend on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Baseball for 400.
I'm in. Go
All
ahead,
right, guys.
Yeah.
Number 5. Syndergaard is from Mansfield, Texas. True or false? Not to be confused with Mansfield, Ohio.
Texas, probably.
I think he's from.
Tyvis says false.
I'm gonna say this is false. I think he's from Fort Worth, Texas.
False.
Actually, I got you guys all again. He is, in fact, from Mansfield, Texas. It's true.
I can't get nothing right, man.
What's the standings here?
Bull, you are still in the lead with 3,
3, 2, 1.
G2, Tyvis 1.
All right. How many more we got?
We got 3 left. So number 6.
Call it a comeback.
Syndergaard only made 6 starts with the LA Dodgers before being traded to the Guardians.
You've been hurt. True. Stop playing behind. Hey, I'm gonna start calling Anthony Rajah Gould.
That's wrong. He made like 10 starts, I think.
Yeah, it's false. False. So Tyvis and Bull, you are correct. It is false. He made 12 starts.
12.
He went 1-4 with a 7.16 ERA.
Threatening your
pretty
runner-up trophy.
All right, guys. Number 7. The Guardians will be Syndergaard's 5th different team since 2015.
Hold on.
All right, Tyvis, you're going with false.
The same thing.
You're going with false. G, you're going true. G reclaims second place. It is, in fact, true.
It's 5?
He's played for the Mets, the Angels, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and now the Guardians.
Kobe Fist.
You're right.
Kobe Fist.
All right, guys, last one.
That's funny. We both said 4.
G could tie. So, executive producer, Steve, I need you guys to
Well, how
send
could it
me
be
a
a tie?
tiebreaker.
Wasn't I 2 up on him before that one?
It is 4-3-2 in descending order now.
Okay.
All right, last one. Syndergaard's nickname is Thor.
That was way too
Well, then I know it's true.
easy.
All right, I gave you guys an easy one at the end, but Bull wins
Yay.
with 5. And that is our brand new Cleveland Guardian,
There you
Noah
go.
Syndergaard.
No,
Some
he
fun
won't
facts
be a
about
Guardian
him.
for long, I'll tell you that.
He come in and get shelled.
1 year.
Not even. He's going to be here for 2 months, and then he's
And a deep drive to left field.
Yeah.
This ball is gone.
gone.
You think he gonna be that bad?
Well, they're not going to sign
They ain't
him.
gonna give you no
Two
money.
guys.
No, he ain't getting no money.
No.
You think
Go,
he, you think
go
he
ahead,
gonna do
Anthony.
bad?
Hold on. We'll talk more about it in just a second. Anthony, go ahead.
Yeah, before we get actually into the trades here, I just want to remind everybody that for $4.99 a month, you can become a UCSS member. You can also gift memberships. I've got some gifted memberships today from Cody Clark. Shout out to Cody. And then as we get into our next topic here, we're going to talk about the Guardians trades and our final predictions. We're going to get some headlines in. And I also have a super chat to start this off, guys. In your opinion, what is a bigger move by the Guardians, trading for Noah or bringing up Oscar? And that's from Professor Chaos for $5. So thank you for the super chat.
Well, it's definitely bringing up Oscar Gonzalez. Noah Syndergaard. See, I know you guys probably, obviously talked about the trade yesterday, so I just wanted to chime in. I did a short about it. I was a little surprised at first when they traded Rosario for Syndergaard. I assumed if they traded him, they would trade him for a minor leaguer. It kind of makes me wonder. See, I think at this point the Guardians are not going to do a full sell-off because they don't have much to sell. They're not going to trade Bieber because he's hurt. But I wonder, and then I thought, well, maybe they got Syndergaard because they're going to trade Savali. And then I thought about it, and I said, no, the reason they got Syndergaard is because they have 3 rookie pitchers, and they don't want those guys to throw too many innings. They don't want them to overdo it in their rookie year. That's why they got Syndergaard. Now, can Syndergaard stay healthy enough to cover some innings and pitch well enough to cover some innings? That's a question, but at least he's a veteran. He's been in the league. It wouldn't stun me if he was decent for them the last 2 months. It also wouldn't stun me if he was a total piece of crap the last 2 months. But there's still got to be something in there. I don't believe the guy's totally shot. He's not that old. He's only like 31, I think. So I do like the deal, even though I like Ahmad Rosario better than Syndergaard. Rosario is going to be gone at the end of the year.
Yep.
It's time to let more young players play. Oscar Gonzalez, at the very least, should be playing every day against lefties. I'd play him every day, frankly. I'd play him every day in right field. I'd have Brennan play center field and Quan play left, or I'd play Quan in center and Brennan in left, whatever. I would play those 3 guys. To me, Straw should go to the bench with Oscar up and be a 4th outfielder. I don't know what they're going to do. I doubt they'll actually do that. My guess is they'll end up platooning Will Brennan and Oscar Gonzalez in right. But now, whether it's Tyler Freeman or Gabriel Arias, one of those young guys is going to get a chance to play pretty much every day.
Well, Gabriel played really well yesterday.
Yeah, and he's been terrible so far. But maybe if he's getting regular playing time, he'll play better. It was time to move on from Rosario. I don't think people need to kill him on the way out. He was a pretty good player for the Guardians.
He had some clutch hits this season, so I don't know.
He was playing well for the last month, but it was time to move on. He was not part of their future. It was time to let the young guys play. And, Jimenez batting high in the lineup. I like to see that. And he had a good day yesterday.
Bull, it's just, to me, it's just like when I look at the roster, there's no stars. There's
Jose's a star.
Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. But
and Josh Naylor's having a star.
I'm about to say the Naylor brothers both.
been great.
I
pretty good.
think you mentioned
But there's
Naylor,
not a lot of stars.
It's not especially at the positions that you want stars.
Yeah.
Like your shortstop, your center fielder. You don't have.
Oh, I'm interested to see your trade. Dude.
They just don't have. It's just like the pop. If you ain't gonna have no pop with the veterans, I just play all the young guys and see how far they can get.
That's right.
Well,
and at this point, they don't have a lot to trade anyway. They might as well go for it. You're 500. The teams, the division stinks, and even though it seems unlikely that the Guardians can make a run in the playoffs, you never know. It's baseball, and
you say
weird
baseball.
things happen. And especially, it's a huge if. I'm not counting on it, but in theory, if you had Bieber and McKenzie back for the playoffs to go with Gavin Williams and Tanner Bybee and Savali, that's a really good rotation. Now, will they have those 2 guys? I'm skeptical. Neither one's going to be back before September. I'm skeptical that either will be back this year. But if they could, and they could be potentially dangerous even with their awful lineup. If I'm the Guardians, I'm going to get a little aggressive and actually go the other way and try to make a trade for another hitter. I hope they do that and trade away. You have so many minor leaguers. You know, you've given away some good hitters. You traded Yandy Diaz. He's great for Tampa. You traded Nolan Jones. He's having a good season for Colorado. It's time for them to add a proven hitter. I'd like to see them do that. We'll see. Let's see what the trades are.
I'm about to say that has to do
I was
with
going to
my
say, we
trade.
have your guys' headlines ready. Right. As soon as you're ready, Bull, we'll start with you.
Okay.
So you guys didn't actually give me headlines. You just gave me trades. So
I didn't remember you send the headline in that.
It
Oh,
did
good.
say
My
headline,
bad.
though.
So here's
my
Bulls. It's O'Neal. Guardians acquire Tyler O'Neill for a minor league pitcher.
Yeah, and I didn't get into the details on the pitcher because I answered that question. I think I was traveling or whatever it was. I don't remember. But the Guardians develop a million pitchers. Well, nobody on the current roster. Tyler O'Neill doesn't have a ton of value, but he has got a lot of upside if he can stay healthy. He's controllable through next year. He's a good defensive player. He's got speed. He's got power. He's had a bad season. He's been hurt. But I think you get him for a middling minor league a middling minor league pitcher, and you add a legitimate bat to the lineup. They need more than one, but I think potentially he could be their third or fourth best hitter for the final 2 months of the season.
I'll take it. I would take it.
Yeah, if it's a stick, I'm down for it.
I like the controllables. That's the one thing about my trade is that it's just for the year.
Okay. Yeah. Who's next?
All right, so G's going to be up next, and he's sticking with the bat. So he's got 1-800-RENT-A-BAT. Yeah. Guardians trade Brinson and prospects for Randall. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
Randall Grichuk. So I don't think you'd have to trade Will Brinson, G, to get him.
Really?
Yeah, no. I think you just trade the prospects.
Okay.
I think I'm fine with getting Grichuk. He's kind of past his prime, I think, at this point.
31.
But I don't know what kind of year he's having. I haven't paid close attention.
246 plate appearances.
Yeah.
313, 370, 487 with 6 home runs, 19 doubles, 25 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean,
120 OPS.
He's fine. I mean, he's in that Tyler O'Neill vein, except O'Neill's got a little more upside because he's younger.
How many years is he controllable?
This is a
I think
riddle.
he's a free agent.
Yeah.
So this is just the 1 year. Yeah. Okay, you in the same boat as me.
1-800.
Well, I shot for the stars on mine. So
yeah.
He did.
But
you want to read yours?
Sure. Let's see what time.
I shot for the
Shohei. Did you go for Shohei?
No, I didn't go for Shohei. I said
that crazy.
I said I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I went with Cody Bellinger. I thought that was, obviously it's going to take a lot because he's having a freaking year as of lately. But
see, this would be a great move by them.
But it's only for the year, though.
A couple things. It is only for the year, and he's going to get a nice contract at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cubs are going to dump now. I thought they would for a while, but they've actually gotten hot.
And he's
they just got back to 500 yesterday with their win. And their division, while it's not as bad as the American League Central, it's still not great. Cubs are only 4.5 games out of a playoff spot.
Isn't he hitting like one of the best hitters for like the past month or something like that?
In July, he's like one of the 2 best hitters in baseball.
Yeah.
And the guy has a track record. He's been an MVP. The Cubs could get
that would be nice
for him.
That'd be nice to get that.
You'd have to give up unlike Grichuk and O'Neill, you'd have to give up. The Cubs would probably want, Tanner Bybee maybe.
Oh,
and I don't think the Guardians would do that.
No. For a year?
No.
To get an impact, he's the only impact bat.
Yeah.
He's the only massive impact bat on the market. But I actually don't think the Cubs are going to trade him. I think they're going to keep him and try to sign him to an extension.
I trade Allen.
Well, we'll see.
I trade Allen.
you give him that?
But here's the thing. People be throwing Allen in like he's Gavin Williams and Bybee. No.
He ain't that level.
He's not at that level.
No.
His velocity
He
and
was
his
decent when he was up.
No, he's a nice pitcher.
He's a nice. Anytime.
But he ain't as good as the other two.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He
was
got.
solid.
All right, those are all. That's actually not bad. I mean, trade all those guys would help the Guardians. Bellinger would help the most, but he would cost the most.
Yeah.
And again, I think when you play in a big market like Chicago, if you're in contention and they're 4.5 games out is in contention, I don't think you could dump. You can't sell a fan base on dumping when you're a big market team.
And those teams actually do have people who care about baseball. Like they would be up in arms.
Yeah,
like
they'd
it's
be
kind
pissed.
like Cubs fans
Well,
actually.
he's a Cub fan.
I mean, they
pissed.
don't be playing that. They'd be like, bro, you
I
traded.
would be kind of pissed now if they traded Bellinger. I don't think the Cubs will win the World Series, but I think they could get to the playoffs, and you might as well go for it.
Who they
And,
behind in their division?
They're behind
Atlanta.
Cincinnati and Milwaukee.
Oh,
But in the wild card, they're only so there's like the wild card right now in the National League is crazy. There's six teams within a half a game of each other, and then the Cubs are 4 games behind those teams. So, and some of those teams have gotten cold as the season has gone along.
Yeah, Cincinnati is. They
They have that hot streak.
and
down
then
there,
they kind of but they stay only a game and a half out.
And if you look at the National League, outside of Atlanta and the Dodgers, nobody's really that good. Those teams are really good.
I can't believe the Mets is like.
They're a disaster.
I can't
The
believe
Mets last night.
it.
Think about this. The Mets have the largest payroll in the history of baseball.
It's crazy.
Their payroll, I believe, is about $350 million. They traded their closer, David Robertson, not a star, but he's done a nice job as their closer this year when Edwin Diaz got hurt. They traded him to the Marlins, who have the 23rd highest payroll. So the Marlins are going for it, and nobody expected the Marlins to be good. Congratulations to their GM. Do you know the Marlins GM is a woman? First female GM in the history of sports.
That's
men's
crazy.
Sports. She's done an amazing
Why
job.
is that not publicized?
Right? It's not it
I
hasn't
didn't
been a
even know
huge
that.
story. Yeah. Her name is Kim Ng, I believe. And she's done a magnificent job. That team has no payroll. They have a payroll similar to the Guardians.
52 and
and they've been very good. They're having a tremendous season, and they've developed some good young players. And the $350 million Mets, if you look at the top 5 highest payrolls in baseball, the Mets are terrible. The Yankees are not very good. And who's the third team up there?
Angels got a high payroll.
And the Angels, thank you. They're the third team in the top 5, and they stink.
Well,
Now, they just went for it. They traded for Carlos Rodon for the White Sox.
Yeah.
But I doubt they're going to make the playoffs.
The Angels is keeping. They
want to keep Ohtani. Did you guys see what he did yesterday?
Pitched a perfect game and then hit
Not a
home.
perfect game, but close to it.
close. Yeah.
So, first game, for those who don't know, the Angels played a doubleheader with the Tigers. Tyvus is right. He almost pitched a perfect game. He pitched a 1-hit shutout through less than 100 pitches. 1-hit shutout in the first game.
hit a home run.
And then in the second game, he hit two home runs.
Yeah.
Hey,
This guy it's insane.
in a short sample size, I mean, it's hard to say. Like
They're not going to trade him, though. So
Yeah.
They said that.
They're not
They
trading.
said that he's the one that's open to resign.
and in smaller sample size, he might be the best player ever.
That's where everybody.
if he does it for another 6-7 years, I mean, we've never seen anything like this. For those who say Babe Ruth, first of all, I don't give a shit what you say. Before the
There it is. There it is.
I don't care about any guys that did things before before the color barrier was broken, because it's bullshit. They should have all protested and not played until black guys were allowed to play. And I don't want to hear it's a different era. Tough shit. You should have known better. Okay? Number 2, Babe Ruth only pitched and hit full time one season. A lot of people don't know that. When Babe Ruth came to the big leagues, I can't remember what year it was, 1910, 12, I don't know. He was a pitcher, mostly a pitcher for the Red Sox. Now, in those days, there was no DH, so he did hit. And he was a decent hitter, but he wasn't hitting all the time. He was mostly a pitcher. His last year in Boston, he did both the whole season, and he was great at both. But that was 1 year. Then he got traded to the Yankees, and he never never pitched for the Yankees. I mean, he threw like 5 innings or whatever.
It's different.
But he basically never pitched for the Yankees.
He might.
So there's no comparison. We've never seen anybody like this.
And you know what's crazy is because Ohtani be playing. He could be playing multiple positions too. Like I feel like he could play center. I feel like he could play right if he wanted to play.
Well, they only
shortstop.
DH him because they don't want him to get hurt.
Right. But can you
He
imagine?
steals bases too.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine if he won a Gold Glove and pitched and won a Triple
Won the
Crown?
Cy. What if he
would
won
you
the Cy?
say?
He could win the Cy Young and the MVP. Probably won't.
Would
'cause
you say that well, obviously we know who the first. Who's the second best player in baseball?
I think Barry Bonds is the second
No.
best player.
I'm talking about
ever.
today.
Right now?
Today.
Oh,
no,
okay,
today.
okay.
I mean, I would have said Aaron Judge at the beginning of the season, but he's been
got
hurt for
yeah.
most of the year.
Yeah.
Probably Ronald Acuna.
That's who I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's weird because he doing all this, he pitching and he hitting. It's just like
You ain't never seen him.
it's like
There's nothing he can't do.
I mean, he's over a lot of
It's nothing he can't do. That's crazy.
He leads the league offensively. Leads the league in home runs with 38, with triples. He leads the league in triples with 7. Leads the league with 62 walks. So he walks a lot too as a hitter. He leads the league with a 675 slugging percentage. He leads the league with a 1,070
All
OPS.
this on a contract year too.
And he's got a 298 batting average, a 395 on base. I mean, it's just insane. And then, okay, if that wasn't enough, he's got a 3.43 ERA. He had a couple of bad starts before this last one, so his ERA's but still 3.43 is still good. It's not elite, but it's still good. And he has struck out 156 batters in 120 2/3 innings. It's just insane.
He's
nuts.
All on the contract year too.
Yeah.
So
he's
I can't wait till them
And he is. How old is Ohtani?
My gosh.
how old is he?
He
ain't- now
just
he-
turned 29.
He not gonna get Mbappe's numbers because that was
No,
that was
those
ridiculous.
soccer numbers are crazy.
Woo, 700.
But he's going to get at least 500. He's going to get at least. I don't know how many years it's going to be, but minimum $50 million per year.
Is that
Minimum.
is that Mbappe? Is that 1 year deal? Was that? Did I
don't
see?
know.
Did I read that
Oh,
right?
was that for soccer?
Yeah, was that a 1 year?
Yeah, Mbappe,
deal?
it was $776
I can't hear
million for
Anthony
one
now.
season, and he turned it down because he's going to go play for
Are
Real
you not
Madrid.
hearing him either?
I can.
Oh.
You said what? Oh, you can't hear him?
Oh, Bull, you got me?
Oh, yeah, now I got you.
Yeah, that he deserves it. He's
Why
one of those.
is my kids playing soccer?
He's one of those players that that are actually underpaid. Like when people talk about it, like they look at LeBron. LeBron is actually, if there was no salary cap, what could LeBron get?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Not at this point.
Not-
yeah,
I mean,
when he
but
was in
his
his prime,
prime,
forget about it. But even still now, because he brings eyeballs to the TV, to the arena.
Miami LeBron was the best LeBron.
No. When he came back here, what are you talking
That
about?
number 6 LeBron was different. He was the most athletic, gifted dude I ever seen. He embraced that.
Yeah,
that
but
villain
I think
role.
he reached his
Man, that
ba-
dude, number
I
6
think
in
he
South
reached-
Beach was crazy.
I think the combination of athletic ability and basketball IQ combined was at its peak when he came back to Cleveland.
I'll give you that.
LeBron had 3 different eras, right? And this is why it's funny when you talk about who's the best. LeBron had 3 different eras where he was doing it different ways, and was still the best player. Like even when you look at his stats on the Lakers are. He averages
He's
more.
still a top 10 player?
He averages 30 points a game.
Over 40 years old.
And he's 40. He averaged 10 assists a game like a couple years. It's so crazy the fact that he has these different ways he played. And if you go back and watch like the first iteration of the Cavs LeBron, bro, this dude was the fastest dude in the league. This dude was just and then he would get 3-4 steals a game. It was like they was throwing him the rock. Like he would just be in the passing lanes and he just dunked. And I'm like, man, this dude is crazy.
What version you talking about?
I'm talking. That's the first Cavs version, the 66 win Cavs, where they had nobody. Then the second version was the Heat version, which I think
The villain role.
he was the villain.
And he
villain
had the
Batman.
best teammate. He never played with great teammates like that.
Yeah, it
before.
was crazy. And then he came back to Cleveland, and it was like the kind of he was still athletic. He still had the grown man game, but that level, his IQ was just crazy.
Right, and he learned how to close.
And remember the playoffs. His best playoffs to me were in 2018 when after they got rid of D Wade and Rose and all those other guys. LeBron was just he was hitting all them buzzer beaters against the Raptors and against the Pacers, and he closed the Celtics out in Game 7. It was just crazy.
I think we've talked about this before here. I can't remember, but how good a football player do you think he would have been?
As a tight end, I mean, he was gifted.
Good.
He was
Very good.
Wasn't he highly
I think
regarded as a football player?
he was
as a tight end, yeah.
He played wide receiver.
I mean, don't you think?
I mean, I'd have locked him up for sure. If
Don't
that's
you-
what you asking. He wouldn't. He
dude,
stood
he's got
no chance.
7 inches on you.
I don't care.
6'9".
Don't care.
Hey, so think about that.
Don't care.
How tall was Antonio Gates? He wasn't 6'4".
6'4", yeah.
I mean, I guess the only thing you can think is could he have taken the pounding of the hits?
I mean, he's going against Denzel Ward.
Chill out.
Fair.
Chill.
I mean, Denzel.
Well, it'd be more safeties
no,
and
no,
linebackers.
that's a
man.
lie. He would have been going against Cam Chancellor.
Right. But Cam Chancellor's how tall?
6'4".
Is he really? Wow.
Cam
But that's pretty.
If
but
you
that-
ever seen Cam Chancellor, when I seen Cam Chancellor
Yeah.
for the first time in
Yeah.
2016,
Yeah.
he looked like the green thing off Space Jam. Just ripped. I was.
But
like,
he's he's unusually big for a linebacker for a safety.
So you see, so LeBron is a person who is 6'9".
yeah.
His vertical is like 45 to 50 inches.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. I mean, what are you doing? How you
Like,
stopping
I'm going to jump over you.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
you
and
beat him up at the line.
How about at the red zone? Like, how are you stopping him in the red zone?
I don't know. I don't know.
So it's this thing that's called you play through the hands. So if somebody out jumps you, right, they got to bring it back down. Like it's
Right.
Now
That's
the
what
good
he's
ones will
trying to
do this and just go like that, but
Yeah.
he ain't.
Don't
on
you
that
think
level yet.
LeBron?
He would have held that ball over his
No,
head.
see,
like
look,
this.
because if you go up with two, and I go, boom,
Right.
make it with one. You catch it with one,
I believe
he got the one hand
that's
catch.
all I do that to
Hey,
you. You
hey,
catch that bad boy
He
with
got
one.
the Odell.
Because
know
what's
he
gonna
got-
happen is he's gonna go up, he's gonna push off like this, and I'm gonna hold this hand down like
got-
this. You catch it like that, I'm
Right.
gonna throw this hand to make it look like I'm contesting it. You catch it with one hand.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think LeBron would have been great at any sport. Would have been, maybe not as good at as he is in basketball, but I think he could have played professionally in almost any sport had he spent baseball. If he had spent his whole childhood playing baseball and had done it in college, like whatever. Like if he was all in on baseball, and obviously it's a very different skill set than basketball, football, but I think he's so far and above. Like, I think he's Bo Jackson.
it's Chico.
I think he's Bo Jackson, and Bo Jackson would have been great in any sport.
Well, that's interesting that you say
Yeah.
that because somebody else that's like that too. His name is Tyvis Powell.
Oh my God!
Except for
Now we have to watch the
let's get
softball
it.
video.
Let's
we
get the
have it
video.
ready for the end of the show. We're just waiting for Shawn Porter to call in right now.
Oh, that's right. Sean's calling in.
Now there's
Why am I not hearing Anthony all of a sudden? My earpiece
by
screwed
the
up
way,
already.
there's some fight
I got a lot of
going on.
earwax.
Earl and
Man, listen to me.
Earl and
Listen.
Tyvus
If y'all
jumped up.
listen, Steve. Everybody here is old, and they out of their element. They don't understand that the biggest fight of the year is happening tomorrow. If you don't watch Bud versus Errol Spence, I don't know what you doing. You better stay up to midnight to see this. 'Cause
Who?
This is Terrence Bud Crawford versus
Who?
Errol Spence Jr. This is like the fight of the year. Both of them undefeated.
So you're excited about this?
Yeah. The belts is on the line. Whoever wins this is like one of the best fighters in the game. Outside of Javante Davis, because Tank is that dude.
Hey,
So these guys are welterweights.
Yes, welterweights. Yes.
What's their
what does
record?
that mean?
They're both undefeated. One is, I think, 30. I think Bud might be 39-0, and I think Errol might be 29-0.
How much they weigh?
Like 143.
I'm not
or something
interested
like
in seeing no DBs punch each other in the face.
That's
Okay.
the problem. When we were young,
I don't
when
wanna-
G and I were young,
Earl, what's wrong with these people?
We
man?
saw grown
we saw
men.
great heavyweights.
Like,
Great
y'all gotta be
heavyweights.
kidding me.
Come on, great heavyweights.
Listen, they go. I ain't gonna say somebody gonna get knocked out, but they just might.
And then when there weren't no great
fights for all the
heavyweights,
belts, apparently.
we talk about I watched Bernard Hopkins, I watched Roy Jones Jr., and the only small dude I'm gonna watch is Mayweather.
You not gonna watch Javante Davis?
I watched him at the Little Baby concert.
Yeah. By the way, I like.
You
when
not gonna watch Tank
When
fight?
I was a teenager, I would watch Mike Tyson. That was an event. When
That-
Mike
that-
Tyson would fight,
That's
that
how
was an
Tank
event.
fights is.
Hey, G, I'm disappointed in you.
Mike Tyson
telling you, Earl,
Mike
what's
Tyson
wrong
could
with
beat
them?
up these two guys
Whoa.
by himself.
Did you- hold on.
Join live.
Did you just say this was the same type of event that Mike Tyson's was? Please take that
You're
back.
out of your mind.
Detract that.
A tank fight is.
Is nowhere in the spectrum.
like that.
Mike Tyson is still more famous than him. He ain't been.
I
Anytime
don't
you got
even
a Tank
think-
fight,
I don't even
anytime
think
you got a
Tank-
Bud fight, that's a legit fight. Anytime you got an Errol Spence fight, those are
I
all
might be
legit,
wrong,
like, big time dudes.
but I don't think Tank went past the 6th round.
Well, let me
maybe
ask you a
6th or
question.
7th round ever.
Earl, are you as delusional as Tyvis as you think this is bigger than a freaking Mike Tyson fight?
I think because of how profile both opponents are and knowing how good they are, the difference is Mike Tyson was knocking everybody
Don't
out
go
in the
there.
first round.
By the way,
It's
you
not
guys-
like Mike
you
Tyson
guys
always
could not
got a
be
worthy
more
opponent.
lost. Don't do it, because boxing was way more popular then than it is now. You guys may be into it, but in general, it's not as popular as it used to be.
That's because y'all once Mike Tyson retired and got knocked out by Buster Douglas, shout out Columbus, y'all stopped caring about boxing entirely.
Because there wasn't nobody
That's
doing
terrible.
Because
it's people out there that's good. Floyd went 50-0.
Floyd's a scumbag.
Floyd is the best fighter of all time.
He beat up women.
Floyd is the best fighter of all time.
We watched Floyd, right? But all these other cats, I don't know y'all, bro.
Well, you did. Won't you tune in tonight? Tomorrow night, Saturday, 12 o'clock.
Steve Becker says it's the biggest pay-per-view boxing since Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Thank you.
But that Mayweather-Pacquiao fight sucked, didn't it?
It did. Because he fought him when they was past
These guys
their
only
prime.
fight when they're old.
These two dudes is in their prime. That's what I'm saying.
All right, who's going to win? Who's going to win?
So Bud should win, but Errol could win. So
what kind of answer is that?
That's what I'm saying.
Defend.
That's what I'm saying.
You're so into
my
it.
point exactly.
Pick a winner. Let's go.
I would love to see Errol win the fight.
Who you picking?
I just told you. I want Errol to win the fight.
Give me Bud Crawford.
All right, at least Earl had the balls to say, hey,
I just want to see a great fight. Somebody hit the canvas and knocked out. That's the best way to end it.
So I'm going to give you this.
And we wanted to see a great softball game, but we don't all get what we want.
When we was watching.
Anthony, stay behind the glass.
Bull. When we was watching boxing, you got to understand.
George Foreman.
We was watching people.
Watch this movie?
We was watching people that was in the greatest of all time.
Yes.
Like Sugar Ray Leonard, right?
Sugar Ray.
You talk
Marvin Hagler.
Marvin Hagler.
Those guys were
Foreman.
welterweights.
These dudes is top. Is these guys that we watching? Is they ever gonna be in the top 10?
They all timers.
They all timers.
Possibly.
I feel like there's not as. Now I will admit, I'm talking out of my ass here.
It's a different weight. Like y'all talking about heavyweight.
No, Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hitman Hearns, those guys were welterweights, right?
Yeah,
man.
Well, let me tell you something. Now I may be talking out of my ass, but I feel like the guys in those days, like they were more badass than the guys now. I don't know. That's the way it seems.
I guess.
Hey, I used to love boxing.
So you're not gonna watch this fight tomorrow?
Maybe I'll watch it.
I send you the link.
How much it cost?
Send me the link. I'll watch it.
How much it cost?
If I have Showtime, do I watch it for free?
No. Showtime
That's bullshit.
Showtime and Showtime pay-per-view is two totally different things.
What type of pay-per-view is it now?
Is Showtime pay-per-view?
Are you inviting us to your house?
No. Unless you coming to Columbus?
You just said no. Why would I come if you didn't invite me?
Here's another reason they ain't as big as they used to.
Yeah.
If you big back in the day boxing, there was a watch party.
That's right. We used to always do that.
Which one of y'all? Hey, Earl. Which one of y'all got the watch
party?
party?
His house.
Earl, we got to host it.
Why is Earl? I didn't get an invite from Earl.
He's in Cleveland.
Why did he invite me to his house?
So you want to come all the way to 2 hours to Columbus?
I'm saying, why isn't Earl inviting me over for a watch party?
Because
why is Earl not inviting Gio
I'm not
for a
ordering
watch
a fight. I'm in a situation to where I'm trying to find a fight party myself.
You see, back in the day, there was multiple fight parties. More when you be in somebody's basement.
We could all chip in on it.
With a cloudy big screen TV.
Everybody chipped in on it too.
Yeah, $5 at the door.
How much is the
We may
fight?
have to do. Maybe I'll have you guys over at my house.
How much is the fight?
Are you gonna drive up to my house or no?
If you invite me.
Maybe I'll do something at my house. I'll see if I can put it together.
We all go chip in. How much is the fight? 50?
You're the one into it. I have no idea.
Like $100.
Ooh.
How much?
What?
$100.
$100. $100.
I got a streaming website.
Hey, Titus, this is not 2006. $50 fights on for pay-per-view.
My God. Earl's got to work 3 weeks at 92.3 The Fan to make $100.
Man,
that's my parking money, boo.
You're right.
Damn.
That's $100 for the fight.
What the hell?
I gotta look that up. That
all right,
can't
well, we
be
look
right.
that up. We'll take a break for Anthony. What's up, Anthony?
Yeah, guys, real quick, I'm working on some technical issues, but I just want to remind everybody that you can subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show to get notifications for our show, for Behind the Glass, for the post-game shows. Our Browns post-game show this year is going to be hosted by Earl, G, and McNuggets themselves. You can catch us every day at the 2-minute warning after every game, and we are going to get Shawn Porter in here shortly. We're just working through a couple technical difficulties.
Hey, real quick, while they doing that, Bull, I got a question because we was talking about you yesterday, and so I got to tell you to your face. I know you're not a part of the, I know you're not a part of the post game, but if the Bengals lose, are you pulling up to try to defend why they lost?
Oh, you were saying that I'm off the post game because I don't want to do the Bengals and
No,
Browns?
we're asking a question. If the Bengals lose week 1, are you going to pull up and try to defend why they lost? Because we already talked about we coming in Monday laughing at you.
Listen, Earl, you should know me well enough to know that I am not an excuse maker. If they lose, they lose. I mean, it happens. What are you going to do? I'm not going to make excuses. If you want me to come on for a couple of minutes, if they lose, then fine, I'll come on.
We're talking Monday. We said,
I'll be on the show Monday.
They said, what is Bulls' move going to be like on Monday? I'm like, it all depends on how they take an L.
Let me tell you something. It's the first game of the year. I'm not going to panic about it. It's a bigger game for the Browns than it is for the Bengals. The Bengals have gone deep into the playoffs the last 2 years.
I agree.
The Browns, there's more pressure on them.
So you would be actually you'd be less happy than we would. Like if y'all lost, you would be like, okay, you have some recent success to point to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
But if we lost, we're gonna be in here hot.
Is he saying that they trash? Is that what that was?
I don't know what that was.
Is that what Steve?
That was like the shot when somebody throws a water bottle at the garbage can and misses.
Man,
he was saying that y'all take is trash.
My take is trash?
I think that's what.
I don't know. Earl, you want to comment?
My bad, I was helping Anthony. What'd you say?
Oh. No, we were trying to analyze Steve's camel work, but I think there was.
All right, so in boxing, let me ask y'all this question.
Yeah.
All right, for $1 million, would you take a body punch for Mike Tyson?
Oh my God.
Today?
Right now.
Mike Tyson today?
Yes.
For $1 million?
Yeah.
Please.
I'd do anything for $1 million.
So would you let him hit you in your face?
Oh, I could die though.
Bare knuckles.
For how much?
$1 million.
What are the chances I would die from that punch?
I take it right in.
We got Shawn Porter?
We do. We have Shawn Porter if you guys want to bring him in.
I don't see him. There he
is.
Hey, Shawn.
No one's taking a punch from Mike. No one's taking a punch from Mike.
Would I die?
In the body?
Thank you.
If he punched me in the face, would I die?
You could.
The body is fine. The head, now you got problems.
If Mike Tyson punched, I got a big belly, right? If Mike Tyson punched me once in the stomach, how effed up would I be?
I think you'd be all right. You might crap out some things that you're not used to crapping out for a little while, but you'd be all right. But the head, there's gonna be a lot of things you don't remember, and you don't want.
Yeah,
that.
I can't do that. So I'll take the stomach punch for $1 million.
Shawn,
Yeah.
why? See, this is the thing. I only know all my boxing from Fight Night. That's it. I don't know nothing else besides Fight Night.
Stop it.
That's a shame.
We're old.
I'm old. Fight Night.
Tyvus is mad. Tyvus, let's be honest.
Shawn, tell him how important how big this fight is.
Tyvus is mad because G and I don't know as much about boxing these days. We loved boxing when we were younger.
Loved it.
My friends and I would watch. We'd watch every Mike Tyson fight. We watched Hagler. We watched Hearns. We watched all those guys back in the day. But we don't watch boxing. G and I don't watch boxing regularly anymore.
That's a shame.
Tyvus loves it. Earl loves it. And we're trying to put together a party now to watch this fight because he's telling us how big it is. Is this one of the biggest fights in a long time?
One of the biggest fights in a long time. We had Booker T on my podcast yesterday, the Porterway podcast. Definitely want you guys to follow that. I follow your show, and I watch it all the time when I'm on YouTube. So y'all got to watch my show too, all right?
Hold on,
What is it? Because I'm about to subscribe right now.
What is it?
What is it called?
The Porterway podcast. But listen, I had Booker T on just yesterday. He said this is probably the most excited he's been in probably about 30 years. He said there's been some really big fights. He said, but a true 50-50 fight where you don't know who's going to win, but you do know it's going to be exciting from beginning to end. He said, I ain't felt nothing like this in 30 years. I said, yeah, that sounds about right.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah, man. I truly do. I hate for people to miss this one because you really miss. You get a lot of people that talk about what boxing is and what boxing used to be and what boxing, people don't know what boxing is and all that. You're going to find out everything you want to know from boxing in this fight right here.
Shawn, what is it about these two fighters and their style, that stands out above the rest of the other boxers?
Here's the thing. they literally have it all. You got one fighter who's extremely conventional. What I mean by that, he's textbook. Everything is right. Straight jabs, straight right hands. He's throwing the hooks where they need to be. He's a great body puncher. He applies the pressure, and he can also move if he needs to, and that's Errol Spence Jr. And then on the other side of that, you got a wild card kind of fighter who can do just about anything you need to do to win a fight. And I think the other reason why everybody is so excited about this fight, what boxing we refer to is having dog. Basically, having dog is having that courage, that go through anything to win a fight. And we all know that neither one of these fighters are going to be willing to stop. Neither one of these fighters are going to want to quit. And that's why everybody loves this fight. You get all the technical stuff that you want out of boxing, but you also get that warrior that you want to see. And you got two warriors in the ring. It doesn't happen. Usually you get a warrior that doesn't have the skills. You get a warrior that doesn't have the power. You get a warrior that doesn't have the speed. You got this is a complete fight, top to bottom.
You know, Shawn, when I look at it, you know, and this is so funny. I remember growing up, and you grow up, and I remember I had cousins who live in the hood, and they, you know, to me, anytime there was a fight, it was just like they would get to fight, and you'd be over there. You like, man, you might see some weed, you might see some a few pistols, you might see pit bulls off the leash. But the cool thing about it was, you like, this is forbidden. It was dangerous. You watching boxing, people could get knocked out. Back then, it just seemed like they had that energy level. Why do you think? I got a couple, you know, theories. Like, it's like, you know, when you take a look at the belts, I don't know who owns the belts. Like, I don't know who's the contender, who has the belt, who's doing what.
Got you. Sorry about that.
I don't know exactly, you know, who's the contender, and I don't know really. We can't watch. We can't really watch the boxers come up. They're 33-0, right?
I think one is 33-0, one 29-0.
So some people aren't even going to have not seen one of their fights and build up to that. So, you know, what do you think is one of the main reasons that boxing, I won't say it's stagnant, but it needs to, you know, needs fights like this to keep going?
Just a second, by the way, guys. I think Shawn dropped his phone and disconnected for a minute.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Well, why don't you do one of the things there?
Yeah, this will be our last one, actually, for the day. So I just would like to remind everybody that Behind the Glass podcast is run by Mike, Earl, and I, and it's on usually Wednesday nights around 7. Go ahead and tune in. You can subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and get notifications from when we go live. And gift memberships today. We've got gifted memberships today. It's been a good day, and look forward to our Browns post-game coverage this coming season.
Yeah, it's huge.
Hey,
what time is the fight? Do we know?
What time they gonna fight?
Yeah, is it gonna be like
probably midnight?
PM? That's
I know, because I go to sleep at 11 o'clock every night, but I got to stay up for this. I can't. You cannot miss this fight.
I'm thinking about having you guys over to my house, but is everybody going to stay up till? I mean, you gonna be able to come?
It's going to be a late night.
That's the hardest part right there.
I don't know. I might put together a party. All right, we got Shawn back. Shawn, I'm curious. When you
I want to answer the question that he had before.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish up.
Because he's right, and I think a lot's riding on this fight.
Yeah.
I do believe that boxing has already started to move into a new wave, and it started to kind of move into a wave of the best fighting the best, which is what everybody wants to see. I think people are starting to become better connected to boxing. The fighters, it's not about being connected to the belts. And I think for so long people have been connected to the belts. There's so many belts out there that people are just confused and they just don't want to deal with it. People are starting to get back connected to the fighters. And I think that's the difference with now and back then. To the point of the question, people were showing up with dogs, showing up, I mean, there's women in the room, men in the room, kids in the room, and everything was happening until the main event started. And once that main event started, we're all locked and focused on what's about to happen. And it's because people were connected to the fighters. Yeah. I think people got disconnected to the fighters, connected to the belts, and then it just became this, whoever's got the belts is the guy. And we don't know who the guy truly is because there's so many belts. This fight is going to bring boxing, I think, back to a space that it hasn't been in a long time.
Shawn, do you think that Floyd messed up things by having an undefeated record, and that's why some certain guys duck and dodge other opponents because they want to stay undefeated?
I think when Floyd, this is what I truly think. When Floyd was doing what he was doing, I think boxing was transitioning. And the transitioning that was happening, fighters were learning what Floyd was doing and started to learn this is not just a sport anymore. This is no longer about trophies. This is about money. How can I squeeze this lemon dry, and also, for the sake of words, stay safe doing it? And I think that wave too has gone on. I think that fighters have learned they learn the business and learn how to, for the sake of words, milk the business. And now it ain't about milking the business no more. It's back to who can I have great, exciting fights with, also make that money, take care of my family, but do something and leave a legacy. Boxing is getting back to the legacy, which I think was one of the lost arts for a long time.
Do you think they promote enough? Not in the sense of promoters. Like, I think one of the big things with social media is, like, you know, that's why you see a Jake Paul or some of these other guys that are just, you know, just on TikTok. Like, you know, we get an opportunity now where we're closer than ever to our athletes. And we want to see, all right, what you're doing, how you moving, what's your next fight, with your thought process. Do you think there's enough people self-promoting themselves and indoctrinating and showing people, a new generation, this is what we about?
I'll use these two guys for an example because they're probably the best example. Neither guy really likes to be on their social media a whole lot. Neither guy really likes to do the whole camera and report interview thing a whole lot. They're comfortable doing it, but they don't really like to do it. If I was the promoter, what I would have done is say, hey, I'm giving you guys each $25,000 extra. I need 2 posts a day. A post when you wake up in the morning, maybe even a post in the middle of the day, and then a post when you go to sleep. I don't care what you post, just post something. Get people to notice you and notice this fight. I think that these guys did not do enough posting for themselves to get people more excited and amped up about this fight. Let's be real. Social media is real, is live, is relevant, and it will get you places that a promotional company can no longer get you. And I think that these guys needed to do that, should have done that.
Shawn, what is your, I know you fought both of these guys. What is your relationship like? Like, do you when you fight a guy, do you like in Rocky and Apollo became friends? Do guys ever become friends after they fight each other?
I don't think these guys are gonna become friends. I think it's gonna take a little while, especially if we have a loser on Saturday night. I think it's gonna take a while for those guys to become friends. Myself and Terrence Crawford, we have been friends since we're about 15, 16 years old, and that friendship is still live today and vibrant, even though we had the fight that we had. Actually had him on my podcast the day after the fight. And then with Arrow, my friendship with Arrow, we've been able to have some phone conversations here or there. We play pickup basketball together, but in the lead up to this fight, I haven't had any conversations with him. He didn't respond to any text messages or phone calls. So it's the way it goes. And I think that there's true animosity here. And I hope that things through the course of this fight don't really heat up to a point that these guys want to do anything extra. I don't think either of them have the mindset to do anything outside of what it entails to win a boxing match. But in this one right here, man, I think anything's possible.
So are you biased in this fight, or who you think gonna win?
I'm truly biased because I do have a strong friendship with Terrence Crawford. But when I do take my bias out, I do think that this is a 50-50 fight, a fight that can go 1 round or a fight that could truly go 12 rounds. And, you know, I say that because I truly want people to get invested into this fight, pay what it costs to watch this fight, because you're going to see something amazing. Even if this fight were to go 1 round, it would be an amazing first round victory. I don't see that. I think it goes 12. And if it goes 10, I mean, we got 10 amazing rounds that we saw. So I want everybody to tune in this one. Order that Showtime pay-per-view.
Now, you know, we talk about it all the time, you know, from perspective of different sports. You know, I played in college. Tyvis played in the pros, and one thing that I just didn't like was just like I wasn't no conditioning guy. Like I don't want to, like, I'm not about to just be out here. But at least in conditioning in football, it's sport specific. So all right, go chase the ball carrier. That's some cardio. All right, do some lifting exercises. With boxing, like, I mean, were you one of those guys that was just born to be like, okay, well, I like working out, or do you just hate it? It's grueling. You don't want to do it. You just would rather box, but you know what it is, and that's part of the game to be where you need to go to.
Yeah, if I trained for 8 weeks, I was miserable for 6 of those 8 weeks, and then my favorite week to train was the week before the fight. Why? Because you know how it is playing football. You got those days where you just taper and you ain't doing too much.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't wait to not do too much. You know what I mean? But boxing is really the only sport that you need every other sport to get you ready for this, for a 12-round fight. What I mean by that is we're swimming, we're bike riding, we're doing sprint workouts, we're doing long distance workouts. I've even seen people. I used to do football workouts. I used to do basketball, play basketball, all those things. This is the only sport you need all of the other sports to get ready for a 12-round fight.
Man, that's crazy, man. That is crazy, man.
Crazy.
So
I told them the other day, I said, boxing is the only sport that I know of where you have to totally ignore the thing that we have naturally given to us at birth, which is self-preservation. You have to ignore self-preservation. You're going to be tired. You're going to be bleeding. You're going to be confused. You're going to be hurt to the body, the whole nine. You got to ignore all that. You got to keep going. That's the only way to victory.
Shawn, last thing, having nothing to do with boxing, are you? How's your confidence level in the Browns right now at the start of training camp?
I need to see Deshaun do something. All of my confidence is in Deshaun Watson. If he does not perform, I don't have much confidence in the team. I'm hoping that he can get back to playing to game day speed. We all know that speed is different, and I think it took him all of 6 games for him to get back adjusted to that game time speed. So I hope that he comes in ready for the game time. If he does, we got some electricity coming from the Browns, and we're back where we were 2 seasons ago, where we were really fighting in the playoffs. What was that? 2 seasons ago or 3?
3
seasons ago, man. I want to get back to that, man. That was a hell of a year for us, man.
Yeah, felt good.
Even though we didn't win it, like, for us to go as far as we did, that was special. And I want to be able to taste that. You know, I can't be too greedy talking about Super Bowl, but hey, give me some food, man. Get me in the second round in the playoffs, baby.
Thanks, Shawn. We'll hope it happens. We'll have you back soon. Everybody check out Shawn's podcast. It's Big Fight tomorrow.
I'm about to say he's doing numbers on this podcast.
We already subscribed. You doing crazy numbers.
I'm subscribed.
Ain't nothing there but great suits. Ain't nothing there but great suits and great conversation. See y'all soon.
Thanks, man.
All right, man.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, he's doing.
Real quick, we got to watch. Even if we can't watch the whole thing, we got to see some of Tyvis's.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I got to see it. I didn't see it.
You don't need to see it.
I heard Tyvis Powell can beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. I also heard that he can strike out Babe Ruth left-handed.
They say that boy Tyvis Powell. They say that boy can turn water into wine. No bull.
I'm hearing from pretty good, reliable sources that the signs in Columbus, rather than saying welcome to Columbus, just say welcome to Powelltown.
Hi, my name is Sink No.
Oh my God.
Is Tyvis Powell the greatest athlete to ever walk the face of the earth? This is UCSS Investigates.
Oh my God. This is fantastic.
What's going on? It's your boy Tyvis Powell, man, and y'all about to find out today. Have you heard of Bo Jackson? Oh, you ain't seen nothing until you see me in action. Ken Griffey III in live effect. I'm going yard every time I touch the plate. Book it. It's like my glove too small now. I feel like my hand got bigger. I made a mistake not wearing glasses because that sun is get the right camera there. off me, Steve. It ain't crazy enough to stop me from catching the ball because that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna catch it.
Oh my gosh, Dive.
32.
Man, I'm off. I'm good now. I got my drops out the way. I got it. Oh,
oh no.
That's a damn shame, McNuggets. It's a damn shame. Making a question in my athleticism. It's hard to run full speed and get the ball at the same time. So it was a mistake, man. You know, the good thing about it is, right now I'm so rock bottom in this game that there's nowhere for me to go but up.
Tyvis was a defensive player in the NFL, but on the diamond, he's known for his offense.
I've never batted lower than fourth in my life. I'm swinging for the fence. They talking about just get on base. I'm going for it all. You know, I'm going to go out here and hit these home runs, and they're going to realize they made a mistake, you know? Next year, there's no doubt that I'm going to be fourth.
Double play! I was so you into double play!
Unassisted. Today, certainly an off day.
Kept running.
As for the question of whether or not Tyvis truly is the GOAT, well, I think we can finally put this one to bed.
I should have waited. I got to wait on my pitch.
She's like, get that. I'm Sync Nub, and this is UCS Investigates.
Oh my God, that was great. It was a rough day for Tyvis.
Yeah.
That was a rough
Shohei Ohtani's done worse, and he's still about to get paid.
Nah, I don't think he's done
worse. Therefore, it's an opportunity
How
for
did
me.
you let...
All right, apparently my dog is lost, and my son, if he finds out, if we can't find my dog, it's going to be a disaster at my house. So I'm leaving right now. These guys will stick around for overtime, and I'll see you. I'm off Monday, but I'll be in every day after that. So we'll see.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Find your dog.
Oh, gosh.